Thank you, James. All right. Well, for anyone watching, good morning. We're going to do a little bit of painting. Don't know if anyone's watching, so I might just be talking to myself. But anyways, still should be a good time. Let's see here. Sorry if things don't look wonderful. I kind of had a janky setup. Hope you guys can see stuff. So for right now, these are the ones I have set up that I was thinking about doing. If anyone's watching, you want to help along, pick colors and things, we can do that. For right now, I've got a Dragonborn fighter here. He's got a nice shield, spear, some plate armor. I always like really painting Dragonborn. I think they're really fun. They usually come out looking really good. I've also got a, let's see, word is, got a Mind Flayer here. There we go. Here's the word. I was going to see about potentially doing him. Haven't painted one before. And then I've got an Aarakocra fighter. I've done a couple ones before that have the wings and the feathers and stuff, and those are always really fun to do. But he's got like a breastplate, some kind of clothing on. He's got a spear, so should be a little fun to do. If anyone's watching and wants to say do that one, we can go about and kind of choose that. If not, then we'll go ahead and just have one going. In the meantime, I've got some of these guys over on my donation page. These are some that I was going to offer up that I painted myself for specific donations. If you're local to Minneapolis and the cities, I can meet you up and drop them off. If not, then I'm happy to mail them. But I've got some larger monsters here. This one was my Etin, however you want to say it. He came out looking really good. I enjoyed him. But he's a little two-headed monster. They're fun to role play because they can bicker with each other. Kind of a giant, but he turned out really good. He's got a bunch of scars, some kind of crude weapons in the back. But I've got him over on the old donation page. Let me see how you guys can get over there if you want to look. It's extralife.org. I'm signed up with the Known World United team, so you can go search Known World United if you want to over at Extra Life, extra-life.org. You look up Known World United and you'll find me on there. Let's see here. The Etin is I packed him for 30. So he's fully painted. So if you are running games or doing things and you'd like to have some monsters to bust out on your players, the larger guys are a little more expensive at your local game store. Painting them can take anywhere between 2 and 3 hours for me. I know a lot of other people that are more professional or do it on a full-time basis take days to do it because they have so many layers and highlights and things like that. I do a little bit of highlights. I don't know. I still feel I've been painting for about 3 years, but I still feel like it's that whole the enemy of good is better type thing. So if you think, I'll just do a little more, I just feel like I'm gonna mess it up. But yeah, I've got the Etin there. I've got the little iron golem, who is also pretty fun to paint. The iron golem is also 30. The froghemoth was one of the first big ones that I painted, and I thought he turned out really good. Some of these guys have been painted for a couple years, and in the first storage unit I had, they got a little kind of wear on them, so I'll touch those up if you guys do want to get any. The froghemoth, since he's a little bit bigger, was 40. Same thing with the old beholder here. He's got all these eye stalks that actually a couple of them come out like that. And it comes with additional eye stalks that have his eye beams. So he's going to come with about 4 different eye stalks that are shooting the different eye beams. They've got different colors on there. So he is 40, or I'm sorry, he is 50. The other one that I got, I do have a dragon. Again, always fun to unleash these on your players. I got a black dragon here. I think he was originally maybe a silver dragon was on his sheet, but you know, you can paint him whatever the heck you want to, whatever you're needing. But he came out really good. He was actually a gift from one of my players sent over, my buddy Les. Thanks, Les. And I had him painted about, I think, 2 years ago. Got to pull him out in a game the other day. Always fun to throw that on the table when people aren't expecting it. But anyways, he's 40. But yeah, I've got lots of different things. There are certain ones that I have not painted yet, which are up. I got a little Tabaxi Rogue here, who got a little bend in her sword. But anyways, this one you can actually sign up to have me paint, and you can say, hey, I want this color. This is kind of the feel I'm going for it. But I'll custom paint one of these guys for about 25 bucks. And I also have some smaller pre-painted. Let's see, I got, speaking of Dragonborn, this is one of my ones that I did. He's super fun. Got a nice shield, got a nice big sword there, black Dragonborn with some armor, some gold and silver armor. But got some of those, but they're all on my page if you want to look around. If you just want to donate $1, that's pretty cool too. There's the option on there. Any of the donations are going to go straight to a local children's hospital. We're raising money for Gillette Children's for the Known World United team, and everything is tax deductible, so you can throw that on your tax sheets and you know, have the benefit there. I think I've talked about it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get painting. I'm going to put some of these guys over here out of the way. Hopefully this setup again is something that you guys can, you know, see what's going on. I think I'm going to do the Dragonborn. I talked about them and they're always super fun, so I will go ahead and start with the old Dragonborn. I have this little Citadel holder, which I really, really like. It just sits on the top like that, and you can kind of have your hand away from everything. Plenty of room for your brush to get in there. But yeah, they're pretty convenient. The paints I'm using, I just have a Reaper set for Reaper paints. If you're looking into starting any mini painting, the Reaper has really, really good starting sets. They come with a lot of the basic colors that you're going to need. A couple, you know, browns for leather and blue, greens, yellows. Really, anything that you would need to get started. It also comes with 3 miniatures for you to get started painting. It has a little skeleton archer. There is a kind of an orc warrior, orc berserker, and then they've got oh, what is it? I think it's like a knight in there, but it has a guide to kind of show you, kind of guide you along with painting there. So yeah, really fun stuff. As far as my brushes, you can get brushes anywhere. You can go for real simple brushes, you know, at Michael's that are just kind of for acrylics and things, but you do want to get smaller ones here. The ones I have, they're Artistic brand. It was a nice little set with a carrying case that it came in, and it has about 10 or 12 different brushes in here. But you want some round brushes. You want a couple flat brushes just to do your dry brushing and things like that. I am going to go ahead and start off getting a couple different sizes of round brushes set out over here. You definitely want to get some hot water in a cup for rinsing and things like that, some paper towel to help get that paint off. Yeah, so when I first started painting, I really didn't know a whole lot about it. Went and looked at some YouTube videos, and essentially I just watched about 2 different YouTube videos. There are so many out there you can watch. There are ones that are, you know, hours just like really detailing everything going into it. I just wanted to start painting, so I watched one that was essentially just kind of the basics, which is your base coat, your base layers, your base coats, your highlighting or dry brushing, and then your wash. So essentially, you just want to look at your mini, see what all's on there, kind of see what colors you want to put on, where they go into. A lot of minis have a lot of different layers, especially those characters that wear leather armor, have a lot of pouches, your rangers, your rogues, things like that. and it's really just a matter of how much detail you want to put into it. If you want to differentiate every single one of those layers, or you just want to say they're all brown, they don't have a whole lot of fashion sense. Dragonborns are fun too because their scales can be so many different colors. I've done red. That last one was a black dragonborn. I've done a blue. I've never done a green, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a green dragonborn. So I just got a Naga green that comes in with that kit. I got a couple expansion packs for the paints. That's like monsters and dungeons and things like that. All from Reaper brand. There's like a Knoll pelt, troll hide, things like that. So I got a couple different shades of green to try to do some highlights or undertones or things like that. His armor, typically people will go just the metallic. There's a blade steel that came in with the set. That's just kind of like a silverish metallic. I'll have that out. There's a gold and a skeleton key and other ones that came in with the with one of those dungeon packs. I like to put a gold out too. And you can, did you think you were interesting enough to have people watch you? No, I'm just talking and painting. Mayor McCheeseburger. Just talking to myself and trying to paint and see if anyone wants something I'm going to do. So I'm going to just start painting. And Mayor, are you asking me not to talk as much and just paint? Because I can do that too. Just figured we'd have some conversation if anyone's watching. You are awful, give it up. All right, sweet. You don't have to watch me. But if you're feeling generous, you can go to Known World United donation page. We're raising money for Extra Life, and they're for children's hospitals. So there you go. I was going to try to run a D&D game, but we didn't have enough people, unfortunately. So here we go. We're just going to do some painting. And if I'm awful and you want to give me some tips, there's that option for it too. So, well, you know what? I'll wait for that donation because my page is under Known World United. So, if you want to throw that at me, I'll cut the stream, man. All right, so I'm just going to start with the scales and the Dragonborn here. If you make a mess, that's fine. You can just cover it up with more paint because, there's no really right or wrong way to do this. Some people may debate that, but, it's your mini. If you're happy with it, then there you go. Bob Ross it. Happy little trees, happy little mistakes, whatever you want to say. If you want to watch a Star Wars game instead there, Mayor McCheese, you can go to twitch.tv/Known World United. They're doing Star Wars over there. So if that's more your speed, go for it. Won't hurt my feelings none. All right, so I'm just getting some green on his feet down here, covering that up. Really just getting his scales first. Then I'll move on to armor and things like that. And if you go over, that's fine. Just go back and cover that right back up. If anyone wants to just join me with painting, again, we can chat about things if you want. It's fine by me. I don't claim to be a professional. I'm just Star Wars died when Leia was flying out of that ship that was blowing up or whatever. It was all just so terrible. Well, it was more Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, shouldn't you just be happy that there's more Star Wars? If you don't like the new Star Wars, just go watch the old Star Wars, Stick to the classics. Go read the novels. There are plenty of those you could do too. For me, I kind of enjoyed that Leia got herself back in because it was always kind of talked about that she was force sensitive, right? And we got to see it. My wife is a big Star Wars fan, and that was a good moment for her. She really liked it. But they're playing a Star Wars tabletop game, so shouldn't really have anything to do with the movies if you weren't a fan of the new trilogy. It's just nerds being dumb in the Star Wars universe. I did a D&D midnight game on Saturday morning, I guess it'd be Friday night, Saturday morning, and it was real goofy, but it was fun. My players surprisingly had a low body count. Do I 3D print? I do not. It's something that I've been interested in looking into. I just don't know a whole lot about it. One thing that was interesting though, so I live near the cities in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and a lot of libraries up here actually have a 3D printer that you can kind of sign up for and use. And I've played with Hero Forge a decent amount. I've got some of those that I've ordered from the site, and they're always real awesome. But I know that you can also get the just order the files when you make a mini on there. So I was going to try at some point to go to Hero Forge, make a mini, and just try to print it off at the local library. I'm sure they will know far more about it than I do. But I know the big thing is that depending on the size of the printer and what you do, it may be more worthwhile, excuse me, to do several at the same time because they come out on that, oh God, I don't think it's called a spool. I don't remember what it's called, but it all goes kind of on that same thing. So to kind of make the most of it, if it just kind of prints up, then you can maybe make a couple there. I'm not sure if the library charges for doing it, since that might be a service that is a little bit different than checking out books. But yeah, I definitely want to look into it. Maybe I'll get my own 3D printer at some point because I mean, I am not an artist by any means. I can't draw to save my life. I love going to Comic Cons and things like that, and just watching artists sketch. I think it's wonderful because they can take a blank piece of paper and all of a sudden there's this big thing that just kind of came out of their mind to their hand to their paper. I'm constantly blown away. So when I first started mini painting, I was didn't really know what to expect. But like with anything, the more you do it, the better you get, and you learn tips and tricks, and you can completely fuck up and try to fix it and see what works and see what doesn't. But it's been really fun. It's again one of those things that whether it's you go to your LCS and buy a mini, or you get something 3D printed off from a friend, or whatever the case may be, and you just sit down for usually takes me about 2 hours to do one of these guys, to fill them up and feel kind of accomplished at doing it. And it's a unique thing. Someone else can try to recreate it, but it's that thing that you put something into the world which was once blank, and now it's this kind of one of a kind thing, which is pretty cool. Since I've started mini painting, I have had a lot of people ask me about, are you going to try to do Warhammer? Have you looked into Warhammer? Warhammer scares the crap out of me, mainly because I've heard the community is very specific and can get kind of nuts as far as like if you do paint your own stuff, if the colors are off or you don't have a certain emblem, like it's just it can be kind of harshly judged on there. But also just the amount of stuff that you need for an army to get going, to have that going. You need, what is it like? It's over like a dozen pieces or something like that, and it's not only the commitment of buying all the stuff, but also the time commitment of, if you are painting them yourself, to sit down and do that. So I don't know. I think I'd try Warhammer. I think it'd be fun. Any of the tabletop games that I've done, not just D&D, I've had a really good time doing. There's one, it's Marvel Crisis Protocol that I picked up about a year and a half ago, I think. Um, when I got it, I just really was interested in the minis. I back in the day, I played HeroClix when I was in college. Spent way too much money on HeroClix. Um, if my friend Les or my friend Chris are on here watching and all, they can back me up. But I loved HeroClix. HeroClix was really, really fun. And so I thought that Crisis Protocol would be something fun to try too. And those minis, I didn't know you had to assemble. Look into one-page rules. It's free, and the rules fit on one page. You can use any miniatures. Oh, cool. Thanks. And that's for the 3D printing that you can do, or is that for Warhammer? Just for clarification on the rules there. But yeah, I like HeroClix. I'm a huge comic book nerd. It's 40K light. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'll look into that. Thanks, Mayor. Definitely good to have things to look into, especially in Minnesota with the winter coming up, because we need things to do indoors. I read Leviathan, the 10th edition, book twice, and still don't know how to play. Yeah. It's always good to have someone lead you that's a little more in the know of stuff. That's actually what got me to finally play Crisis Protocol. I had assembled the minis, which I had never taken them off the sprue. That's what it was. Humanity is actually under the control of dinosaur-like alien. That's called the battle where who must consume human blood to maintain their human appearance. Cool. I assume that would be the Warhammer talk. But you know, reptile people. You may be a fan of V then. Did you like that show? That was the name of the show, right? Where they had the reptile people. Alrighty. So I've got pretty much all the scales covered up for right now. With the more heavily armored people, they've got a lot of gauntlets and pauldrons and things like that. So just really like slather it on there. For the base coats, you can be pretty dirty. Again, you're just trying to cover stuff up. And you also want to put a little bit of water in your paints to dilute it a little bit, so that when you do come back, once it's dried a little bit, like on the back, I'm sure you probably can't see it. Again, my setup sucks. I apologize. I thought I'd be playing D&D today. So right back here on his greaves, on his shin guards here, there are like leather straps that are coming across. So I just put green all the way down. I can still see where the straps are, so I can go over that with a smaller brush with some brown or some leather colored to go through and put that in there. So and then yeah, on the sides here, it just looks like there's a little bit you can do. It doesn't really matter. You can do your happy mistakes. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's your mini. How many McDonald's workers does it take to change a light bulb? None, because they can't climb the ladder. If we're doing dad jokes and puns, now there we go. I'm ready for this. Why didn't the chef slice the cheese, Mayor? Do you know? Why didn't the chef slice the cheese? I'll tell you why. Because they had greater plans. Like a cheese grater. Greater plans, get it? Oh, bad jokes are the best. They're so dumb and they're so good. All right. So I'm just looking through, making sure I got the green covered up for his scales. Let's see. His hands will probably get a little bit there. They've got, again, the gauntlets on there, so you can only see kind of past the knuckles. So I'll just slap that on just a little bit. Again, so again, the inflation is so bad. McDonald's is selling the quarter ouncer. Quarter pounder, quarter ouncer. What is that in the metric system? Do we know? Would they change it up from the Royale? Is it going to be like the Princeling or something? The commoner? Is the Royale with cheese going to be the commoner with the commoner plane? No cheese for you. Can't afford it. Bad jokes. We're still on bad jokes. Mayor, did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? It's a new place. Everyone's trying to get into it. I finally got into it. The restaurant on the moon. The food's okay, but there's just no atmosphere, you know? Kind of makes it hard for a good dining experience when there's no atmosphere. That's one of my favorite dad jokes. It's so dumb. It always gets an eye roll. It's one of my favorites. I've got two kiddos. I've been starting to tell them dad jokes. My son is more amused than my daughter. She is getting a very good eye roll down for when I do that stuff, so I'm teaching her well. Did I hear about McDonald's trying to get into the high-end steakhouse market? Big mistake. Yes! Big mistake. I love it. That's a good one. Man, I'm going to have to remember that one. Let's see here. Mayor McCheese. We've got name puns. Name puns are always fun. You know, the one that, you know, most people know is what do you call a guy in the middle of the ocean? No arms, no legs. Right? Everyone knows that one. His name's Bob. Right? Bob. No arms, no legs, middle of the ocean. Do you know what you call a woman with a compulsive gambling problem, though? Mayor McCheese, do you know? Compulsive gambling problem? Betty. Betty really needs to get her shit together if she wants to, you know, kick that habit. Betty with the gambling problem. All right, I got the green on there, so we'll go ahead and rinse that sucker out. I think I'll start with the armor next. That's probably the biggest thing coming on. Just need to figure out what color we want to do the armor. What goes good with green? Should we do like a bronze? Should we do, you know, armor doesn't just have to be the silver metallic stuff. You can make friggin', should we do red armor? Is that too much? Is that going to be too much contrast? Well, we're thinking it. Fuck it. We'll just do regular like iron armor on there. All right. So we'll take some blade steel. Get that opened up. Did I throw Mayor McCheese with the Betty joke? I got another one. This one's a little easier to get. I think people will figure this one out. Do you know what? Why are McDonald's jokes similar to their ice cream machine? They're hard to come by a good one. Okay. They're always broken down, right? Is that why the old joke of yes, I would like a chocolate shake? Absolutely, come up to the window, and when you get up there, sorry it broke down. Or before they even get it, it's broken down. Yeah, I don't even remember the last time I had a McDonald's shake. Do they still advertise those since the machine's broken all the damn time? Anyways, we'll figure that out. Yeah, that's one thing that sucks about the paints. If you don't use them for a while, they can get clogged up and harden and stuff. You just got to get a pin and shove it down there and see if it comes up. I know. Make a joke about me churning the butter or whatever. Get in there with that pin. What was I gonna say? Oh, the next bad name pun. Here we go. This one's a little easier to come in here. I don't think Mayor McCheese made that $100 donation because he didn't tell me to stop the stream. So that's okay. I'll keep painting. He'll be fine. Maybe he'll change his mind. Maybe he couldn't find the 100. Maybe he had it in his bank account and it went towards something else. Perhaps McDonald's. Do you know what you call a man who just lets people walk all over him all day and night throughout his whole life? Never stand up for himself? Just lets people walk all over him. I'm sure you probably know this one. Very easy to do. Matt. Get it? Yeah, name puns. Oh, they're so bad. I've got some real easy ones. I got some ones that are more of a stretch. I've got my boss and my coworker's favorite one because it's so stupid. But we got to work up to that one. I can't just start off with that. Got to work up to it. There we go. All right. We got enough paint on there now. Close that back up. All right. Here we go. That's around 0. That's a spot. I'm going to get a little bit of a bigger brush on this one so he's got more armor. More brush, more paint. Here it goes. I just looked back up at the screen and all I saw was big mistake and that just made me giggle. That's a good one. I'm going to have to remember that one. All right, here we go. Hiya. All right, a little bit of water, put it in there again, just to dilute it a bit, make it a little thinner, thin it out. If your paint is too thick, then it just kind of goes on globs. It can dry in globs. It just makes it a little harder to get all that stuff on there. Oh, see, I just noticed he had some pantalones on as well. So we'll have to figure out a color for that. So he has kind of like a chest plate on. He's got pauldrons, and he's got some gauntlets on his arms and some greaves on his legs. So we're just gonna do all those the same color, the same blade steel. And again, you can just slather it on. It doesn't matter. If it goes into the green, guess what? You get more green and you cover that up. Mistakes happen all the time. I have been like halfway into a model before and think I got a good color stuff going on, and I get halfway through and I'm just like, this looks awful. I will start over again and just cover up all the color that I was going to, they turned out pretty good. So again, it works out. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a fan of steampunk, but it's certainly the healthiest way to prepare. Yeah, it'll soften them up. If is cooked punk just a little chewy? A little too much? Yeah, when you steam stuff, it's great. Soften that shit right up. I feel like Mayor McCheese is having to Google these, but that's okay. That's okay. I have a stack of cards right here. They're my cheese singles. I think my boss got them for me for Christmas or something. But yeah, they're daily cheesy jokes, and a lot of these are terrible. Let's see what this one says. If you have 13 apples in one hand and 10 oranges in the other hand, what do you have? That's right, big hands. That one's stupid. I would roll my eyes at that one. That one just makes me go, okay, you can do better than that. Writers of the cheesy jokes, you can do better than that. Like, yeah, I guess it's clever and it's something that you wouldn't expect from that. But it's like my boss's favorite joke whenever we're telling was, what's brown and sticky? Yeah, a stick. Brown and sticky. It's terrible. But again, that's what you want to do with those jokes. The worse it is, the better it is. I ate a kid's meal at McDonald's yesterday. I have to say his mother sure overreacted. Yes! Yep. I mean, come on. She could have just got him another one. You could have offered to pay for the other one. Like, what's the big deal? And honestly, the kids get the kids' meals just for the toys, don't they? I mean, my kids can't be the only ones. They're like, yes, McDonald's cheeseburgers, give them to me. Which McDonald's food is not good. Look, can we all agree on that, please? McDonald's food just sucks. It's not great. It's overhyped. Getting more expensive. Holy crap. But anyways, yeah, my kids will, okay. My daughter eats a cheeseburger. She does. She will eat a cheeseburger for every friggin' meal if you let her. For whatever reason, my son, the bread is just not sufficient enough for him, apparently. I don't know what McDonald's does to his bread. Just doesn't want to eat it. He will peel the cheese off first. He'll pick it off with his fingers and just, rake it off with his fingernails and rake it off his fingernails with his teeth. And then eat the burger. And, of course, the fries. And he'll say, I'm done. Sometimes he doesn't even finish the burger. But that toy, that 12-cent to manufacture toy, if that, it's his favorite. It's good stuff. Group of reptilian humanoids called the Babylonian Brotherhood control humanity. Last one isn't a joke. All right. Cool. Now, are the Babylonian Brotherhood, are those like cryptids, like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster? Are they in that same category? Like the Mothman? In one of our games, I believe that was on Friday. No, that was Saturday afternoon. My buddy Colin ran a Tales from the Loot game. We encountered the Mothman. His name was Jerry. I don't know how accurate that is to the cryptid lore, but Jerry. Yeah, we got to fly around on Jerry. He transported us to a large crater that had nefarious things going on. If I remember right, there was a naked 3.5 foot, I don't know if he was a dwarf or he just had stunted growth, but 3.5 foot gentleman named Wonton, who was summoning demons, I think. Anyways, my character threw a basketball at his nose and broke his nose. That was fun. Good times. These are the stupid things that we get into at tabletop games at Extra Life, people, especially with the Known World United crew. We're goofy. Waiting to see if the Babylonian Brotherhood is a cryptid or not. We're waiting with bated breath on Mayor McCheese to let us know about that. Give us all some insight into the Babylonian Brotherhood. Are those the ones that apparently eat babies? Is that the big rumor going around? Reptiles eating babies? Maybe that was from another tabletop game. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm just painting in the armor here. He also has some kind of weird like thigh guards, but it's not like, if you think of like plate armor or splint armor, it's whether it's like samurai, if you guys played Ghost of Tsushima or Onimusha or anything like that, any samurai game, like you would expect the armor to go down the full leg, right? We're going to cover the meaty part. We're going to cover the thigh. Don't know if you can see that little dot right there on the thing. That's it. It's one plate on the outer thigh, kind of up near and like again, like the important stuff, the femoral artery is on the inner. Wouldn't you want it the whole thing? Okay, now I'm getting it. I'm just start keep painting, Nathan. Come on, keep painting, keep going. Don't overthink it. But that is weird. That's weird to me. Maybe he in a previous battle he just got hit in that one spot and doesn't want it to get hit again. Maybe that's a Dragonborn's weak spot. The outside of the upper thigh. For some reason. It's like in Punch-Out, King Hippo, you hit him in the belly button, right? His pants go down. Maybe that's what happens. Gets hit in the inner thighs, pants go down, and fight's over. Fight is over. I'm going off the rails a little bit. That's okay. I don't have to keep talking about painting. It's painting. That's what you just throw paint on it, right? All right. So he's got like a breastplate that goes up to his chest. Some pretty high pauldrons on his shoulders, and they go down his bicep a little bit. So I'm going to fill those in. Again with this same blade steel, and this armor is really fun. A lot of times, a lot of the minis will have chainmail. So what you can do with that one is you can just kind of lay black over the chainmail if you want to, and then dry brush on the blade steel, so it has that kind of depth to it in the rings, but it has the shiny steel on top for the stuff that's a little more raised. With dry, so you have your base layer, your base coat, which you're just trying to slather on. That's the main thing going on. Anything that's raised, you can hit with a dry brush to kind of give those layers and give those extra depth. So with the dry brush, what you're going to do, and I'll do it a little bit later, is you take son of a bitch. All right, that happens sometimes. You ever have your mini just fucking fly off your handle? That's good times. He's still good. We're all good. We're still on here. Everything's fine. I'm fine. How are you? Dry brushing. You get a flat brush. You get just a little bit of paint on it. And then you basically try to wipe off as much of the paint as you can on your paper towel. So there's just a tiny, tiny bit on the tips of the brush. And then you just kind of lightly go over it. You're not giving a whole lot of pressure, but the idea is you're trying to hit it with a little bit of paint, not a whole lot of pressure, so it just puts the paint on those raised parts to again give that depth, get that differentiation. So you're doing the layers on there. So with chainmail, you can do that. You can do just black, lay it down, and then dry brush the blade steel on top of it, so that you can see the rings. The steel is on top of the rings, but the black is kind of in the holes there. But anyways, with the plate armor, it's going to be a little bit different. Typically, well, what I'm going to do with this one, I shouldn't say typically because there's so many minis, but a lot of the times with the plate armor and stuff, or even splint armor, it'll have kind of oh God, what's the best way? They're layered on top of each other, so they can kind of like slink together. So, anyways, there are raised parts, but they're a lot longer, so you can take just a really fine brush to kind of like stripe on top of it. Whether you use like gold or bronze or whatever color you want to. There's a silver that's in the. Does that come in the? There's a polished silver that comes in the starter pack, the Reaper starter pack, I believe. That does really good for giving highlights and stuff to the armor on top of the blade steel. So I'm gonna use some of that. I'm gonna use some of the gold that's on here. We'll see. Okay. Mayor McCheese, I feel like you need another joke. If you're still here, I'll think of one. Name puns. We'll get another one. This one I was very proud of. What do you know what this for people that read comics at all? You know the Secret Wars storyline, the Secret Wars 2 with the Beyonder. I'm getting Beyonder vibes from this guy's armor, where the Beyonder had just like over his shoulders those big like loopy. I don't even know if they were pauldrons. They were just like big bubbles. Anyways, I'm putting the blade steel on. That's just what it reminded me of. Anyways, back to the name pun. What do you call a news reporter that only covers the most current events? Kind of a niche. Doesn't talk about things that have passed. Just the most current events. News reporter. Most current events. Justin. Justin. I know it's stupid, but it makes me laugh. Leave me alone. All right. That shoulder is covered. The other thing I love about Dragonborns. Oh, this is real important. So my least favorite thing on me. It's not my least favorite. They're just fucking hard and they're frustrating and they make you want to rage quit sometimes. Faces, dear God. Eyes and things like that, I want to just stop painting forever sometimes. They suck. Just because when you get to that point with the face on humans or other things, like everything is so small, it's such a small area to work with. And if you sneeze or twitch or do whatever, like it can just, it blows. With Dragonborns, you don't have to worry about it so much with eyes and things like that because it's all scales. You don't have to worry about a nose or different things like that. You just kind of give a little dot in the eye hole. You don't even have to give pupils sometimes if you don't want to. They can still look pretty good. Up to you, painter's choice. And then you just worry about the mouth. If their mouth is open, you give them a little bit of teeth, some little dots in there, and you can kind of call it a day. A lot less work on the faces, which makes me happy. But yeah, Dragon. I also just love playing Dragonborn. Since we're painting a Dragonborn, I don't know if anyone plays D&D or Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder is something similar to Dragonborn. Dragon Folk, maybe. But no, they're fun. I love them. They're great. Their breath weapon is fun. They can spit out fire or lightning or ice or all kinds of stuff. But one of my favorite races. Okay. I'm trying to get... All right. So this is a time where I say it's a base layer. If you glob on the face, you can just cover it up. Yeah, I should take my own advice and say screw it, but I just... Okay, there. arm all the way in there. Okay. I didn't really get his face. That works out. Okay. I got the pauldrons. I got the gauntlets. Got the greaves. His back is a little strange because it looks like the front of the armor looks like splint, and the back is just like a half breastplate. It looks kind of strange, and I'm wondering if it should be the same color. Fuck it, same color. Here it comes. We'll just do blade steel across it. And you know, if I change my mind later, it looks. I think it looks like garbage. Let's put something else on there. There you go. As soon as I'm putting this on here, I think I'm gonna change it up anyways, just because. Again, it's good to have that differentiation between colors. I mean, you can go as basic as you want to on this. It doesn't matter. Again, it all is how you want it to be. You could have a mini sitting there that's been done for 2 years that you're staring at, and then one day you're just like, you know what? I want his pants to be purple. Let's put purple in there. You're fine. Okay. It's got a little belt buckle there. I'll throw something on that. And maybe highlight it with some gold or something. All right. So we got the blade steel on there. Let's see. 45 minutes in. I've probably been painting for about 30 because I was just yapping for the first part. Okay, yeah, we'll probably get this guy done in 2 hours. All right, pants. What color pants do you think a Dragonborn wears? Let's just do a little brownish. So the good thing about the starter pack with Reaper 2 is it gave you 3 different browns. There's a harvest brown, a leather brown, and there's a desert sand, which is like a tan. And these were all good, again, to give those layers if you have someone, a ranger, a barbarian, a rogue, even a sorcerer that may have a lot of leather armor or just different layers of cloth clothing. Brown's pretty neutral, but it can give all those different layers and different shades and things, which is nice. Let's see. The other thing to consider, and this is one of the things that I think I just start painting and pick colors and everything, and I don't think about it until midway through and go, oh crap. When you're doing a wash, the wash is a very thin layer of paint. You can buy washes that are pre-mixed. Citadel has a really good one. It's called Nuln Oil. This is one that they talk about in pretty much in any of the videos that I watched when I was getting started. They're like, get this. This is really the only wash that you need. Or you can make your own wash. You take black or brown or whatever color you want to use as kind of an undertone. And I think the guide in the Reaper kit said 1 drop of paint and 3 to 5 drops of water, and you're just thinning it out to where when you put the wash over, all of the layers that kind of sink in a little bit or a little bit deeper, that wash lays in there and gives kind of a darker undertone, so that you're getting more of those layers. In your mini, and it's a slight difference, but it's good. It really does make a difference as you're looking through and you have your mini and you're done painting it and it's like, oh, not really. No, once you put that wash on and it dries, it really adds a lot to it, which is really kind of cool to see. Okay, let's see here. Again, if you guys are looking to, if you're feeling generous today, you can go to extralife.org. It's extra-life.org. You can look up Known World United. That's the team that I'm a part of this year. We're dedicated to playing games for 72 hours, trying to raise donations for a local children's hospital. The children's hospital here is Gillette Children's. It's a really good cause. I have a kind of a small goal this year. It's my first time trying to gather donations. If I can get $300, I'm happy with that. I've got a couple donations already, which I'm super excited about. That there are some incentives on there for minis and things. There's the option of just donating because you're a good person. In the games I was running, you can buy re-rolls and a bunch of other stuff. anyways, yeah, that's there. If you guys are inclined uh, to donate, that would be awesome. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Do it for the kids. Mayor McCheese ate a kid's meal. Maybe that's his way of his penance. He's going to go ahead and maybe donate the cost of a kid's meal to Extra Life. That'd be a good way to do it, eh, Mayor McCheese? If that's your real name. All right, I've got. I'm using leather brown for his pantalones here, just to get that on there. And you know what? Now I'm thinking differently of it because he's got this a couple straps, those weird kind of thigh guards that he has. He's gonna have some leather straps that are going around the pants to attach them to his leg. So what can I do? What can I do? Let's see. What is a good color that can go with? I'm gonna do. I have a kind of a purplish. I'm gonna just try it. For some reason that spoke to me. We're going to try a little bit of purple for those pants. Maybe a little Hulk, Incredible Hulk vibe. He's got the green scales, purple pants. Why not? We'll see what happens. Get a little bit of water on the brush. Again, we're just trying to thin out the paint just a little bit. A lot of people that paint and do these minis too will say that a wet palette is really good to have. I tried one and I don't know. It didn't work for me. I didn't see the benefit of it, but I can, since I've seen other videos or things going on, if you're one of the people that either are going to paint a lot of stuff like Warhammer or, if you're just painting like a ton of skeletons, if you got something coming up and you're going to throw a bunch of skeletons of party members, and you're going to use the same colors and you're mixing and trying to do a wet palette is great because you don't have to try to hopefully match that mix the next time you sit down. If you're painting for a couple hours, you can walk away. That wet palette is going to keep those paints just kind of wet and moist enough to when you come back, they'll still be good to use. But I don't paint a ton of stuff. I'll sit down if the spirit moves me, and I'll slap some paint on a mini, maybe two. I think the most I've done is two in a sitting. But yeah, when I'm done, I'm done. I don't need to have the same colors usually. But yeah, wet palette is one good thing to look into. I know I have some friends that absolutely love it. But again, I just wasn't my thing. Wasn't my thing. Okay, let's see here. What else can I ramble on about? Well, I said a little earlier in the stream, I'm a comic nerd. Love my comic books. If anyone's watching and they're reading any good comics lately, I'm gonna give a recommendation. There's let's see, Saga came back. Was it earlier this year? I fucking love Saga. Saga's great. If you've never read Saga, read Saga. It's by Brian K. Vaughan. It is probably my favorite comic series. It's wonderful. And it was on hiatus for, what was it, 3 years, 4 years? Sucked. Like waiting a month for a new issue is hard enough. Especially that series, because like every issue is like a freaking cliffhanger. But yeah, it's finally back. Love me some Saga. I'm very sad that we're past the halfway point in the story. I don't want it to end, but it's, yeah, I trust the writer. It's going to be wonderful. I'm sure it'll be painful, but it's going to be great. Let's see any new series that I've been reading. There's one called Sirens of the City by Boom. I've only read one issue, but that was interesting. I think it's got a couple more issues out, but I need to pick that back up. Got the Moon Knight. I don't read a ton of Marvel right now, but the Moon Knight and the Ghost Rider series that are out right now are super good. Holy crap. Jed McKay knows exactly what he's doing on that Moon Knight book, and it has been awesome since the first issue. And there are just real good dialogue, real good badass one-liners that Moon Knight puts out that are real good stuff. I think Mary McCheese left. Might be just me talking to myself. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'll just shut up and paint for a little bit. If anyone is coming in, stumbling in, maybe you saw a post that I put on social media, maybe you just randomly clicked on a stream. Maybe you heard of Known World United and was like, ooh, Star Wars, I like that, I'm going to watch their game. And you weren't a fan. You saw they had a different channel, and you said, I'm going to go see what he's doing. Just painting. I got a Dragonborn here. Dragonborn fighter. Trying to see what colors work. We're doing a green Dragonborn. He's got some, what looks to be some split mail or plate mail going on. Just covered up his scales with green. He's got some pants that are kind of underneath some of the armor he's wearing. I decided for purple because why the hell not? We're going to have an Incredible Hulk Dragonborn here. If the purple I end up despising, guess what? I'm going to put another color on there. I don't really like it already. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to cover it up right now. So I said earlier about the Reaper painting kit that's out. It only had one green in it, but I got a different pack that has 3 separate shades. It came with a orc skin, a troll hide, and a null pelt. So I'm going to just do his bright green scales. I'm going to put a little bit of darker green underneath. See how that looks. It might look like crap, but you know what? I'll bet it's going to look better than that purple that I decided to put on there. Null pelt's a little light. I'm going to do that. Put that aside. Troll hide or orc skin. I'll try the troll hide. Just see what it looks like. Again, if it looks like crap, you can change it up. It's not permanent. Use that pin to try to unclog it. T-pins work real good to try to unclog your paint bottles if they're clogged up. All right, we'll just put a little bit on top there. I don't think we need that much, but you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll use it for something else. All right, back to it. I'm gonna take a round brush. I think I already got the majority of paint off it. We'll just do it again. Wipe it off on a paper towel. Get a little bit of water on your brush. Again, thinning out the paint. You don't want thick paint. And I'm just talking, guys. I'm no authority on painting. I enjoy it. It's fun. But yeah, I'm not a professional. That already looks a whole lot better. Yeah, I like the troll hide that I use here. Troll hide, is that what I got? Yep, that's the troll hide. That's already looking better for me. I like it. The purple was a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see if it paid off. Spoiler alert, it did not pay off. Yeah, I like this. This troll hide is a lot better. I like it better already. I said earlier that I was playing Crisis Protocol. I've been playing Crisis Protocol, the minis there. I've been painting the majority of the time. This is the first time I've actually done a D&D mini in a while. Yeah, they're just, it's interesting. And I don't know if it's just the materials that they're made out of, or maybe the fact that the D&D minis I get are primarily from WizKids. They're the, what was it, Nolzers, Nazguls, whatever the hell the name is. I can find out. I got one back here. Yeah, let's see. Dragon Fighter, kind of ready. Nolzer's Marvelous Miniatures. Let's start with an M. Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. Yeah, I don't know if it's the difference between what they're made out of. I know Nolzur's are pre-primed. I know with the Crisis Protocol ones, I got to prime them myself. But yeah, the paint just hits differently sometimes. Oops, I went over that. Oh well, I went over one of the straps around his leg, but that's okay. Again, that's why you thin the paint out, because once it dries, I'll still be able to see that that line and where I need to go over with the leather strap with a little bit of a brownish. Okay. Almost got this awful purple covered up. He has a little bit of like a tabard that's going down over his crotch area, over his nethers. Maybe I'll make that purple. See how it looks. No, fuck it. Purple's done. Purple is out of the equation for this mini. I tried it once. I immediately didn't like it. I'm not going to do it again. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah. I like that already. All right. Troll hide pants. There it is. I don't think he has any other clothing. I think he just has that. He has the armor on. All right. Let's see. What should we do next? Let's tackle this this shield that he has here. I don't know what it would be made out of. It is kind of curved. It has some spikes on the top. Maybe we should just go with a brownish on that. Make it match up with maybe the what's going to be on the spear. You know what? There is a red. It's called Deep Red that came in one of those kind of not booster pack. You know what you're getting. It's one of the supplementary paint kits from Reaper. And it's called Deep Red, and I really like to use it on any weapons that are kind of like wooden, whether they're bows or spear handles or whatever. It's not. It just gives a nice look to it. I don't know what else to say beyond that. It looks nice. It's not just like I think it's the leather brown that's in here. That's the dark. No, it's Harvest Brown is the darkest brown that comes in that starter kit for the Reaper. But I like it a whole lot better just for wooden weapons and shields. And then since it is a little bit darker, if you do have any highlights or other layers that you're putting on those weapons to try to get some definition, then you can use the other browns. Update: Mayor McCheese did not donate $100, which is why this stream is still going on. That's a lot of red. That's okay. That's fine. It doesn't look like a lot, but you don't need a whole lot of paint with these minis if you ever do start painting and find out. Here we go. I feel like I know potentially what group Mayor McCheese came from, and I will have to ask later on, try to suss out the identity of Mayor McCheese. Okay, so for right now, looking at the spear, I'm just going to cover this area kind of near the top and the bottom. I'm not going to go all the way down because it looks like there's a little line here, and then there's a band up here, which is probably going to be some sort of metal. Maybe it'll be that blade steel. Maybe it'll be silver. Maybe it'll be gold. Maybe I'll mix in a little brown with the gold to make it like a bronzish. But it doesn't need to be the whole thing. For the shield, I'm absolutely going to cover the whole thing with this red. And then when it dries, I'll see if there are any other layers I want to put into it. Because the shield for me, so like a lot of for minis that have like dwarves and things like that, you can definitely tell that it's wooden and it has a band around it where it's more like I guess like a cheap buckler or something like that. And but this one, it just looks like kind of a slab where it's like granite, or maybe it's just a giant scale from like a dragon or something like that. That's kind of been doctored up. So, but there's no real like definition around. So there's the middle area. There are a couple raised portions, almost like spikes, and on the outside it looks like there's like a band that's been around it. There you go. You can kind of see the spikes right there on the front, but you can't really see the band going around. But anyways, I'm gonna just cover the whole thing with this red. I'm Missouri State Representative Sean Rhodes, District 154. Well, that sounds made up, Mayor McCheese. Why, oh why, would a Missouri State Representative be watching my stream? I've been putting on a suit for the last 20 minutes. I missed all this. Call my office. Well, I can't do it. I can't do it, Sean. I'm painting currently. Maybe I'll call a little bit later. All right, so I'm putting. It takes you 20 minutes to put on a suit? Come on, man. It's pants, a shirt, and a jacket and a tie, right? 20 minutes? Come on now. Did the zipper break? I'll be there till 7. Bet you don't even own a suit, playa. Well, I don't need a suit. I don't have a full suit. I guess that makes me less important? I don't know. I don't give a shit. What do I need a suit for? My zipper is custom. Well, that sounds made up. Custom zipper. What is a custom zipper even? Okay, isn't there just one type of zipper? You have the two bits that go side by side, and you have the piece that interlocks them. What? Why would you need a custom zipper? Does it like go all the way down the leg? Like, do you just we call it bespoke on this side of town. Oh, I've heard of a bespoke suit. I think that was in Kingsman, wasn't it? I think that's the only reason I know that word is in Kingsman. On this side of town, what do they call a bespoke suit on the other side of town? If we're getting into slang, and apparently it's regional here or citywide, on the north side it's bespoke. What's it on the south side? Shoes are bespoke. Bespoke is any custom suit. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm learning things now. All right. So custom suit, is that just tailored? It was cut and made and altered specifically for you? Keep painting your toys. Sir, this is not a toy. This is a miniature. And when it's painted, it becomes a collectible. Toys. If I call your suit clothes, is that kind of the same thing? Your bespoke pants, if I just say trousers, that piss you off? Probably not. I don't care. Man, McCheese has gotten a little McCheeseburger's gotten a little aggressive times. Do I own Crocs? No, I do not own Crocs. I know what Crocs are. My son has a pair of Crocs that he doesn't want to take off, which I think is funny. His feet are also going to be cold because it's getting close to winter. No, I don't own Crocs. Never tried on a pair of Crocs. No, I take it back. I did try on a pair of Crocs. I didn't like them. Didn't like how they felt against my tootsies. Why? Were you going to come back and say you have bespoke Crocs, Mayor McCheese? They're custom Crocs. Sorry, they're bespoke. What would custom Crocs look like? Are just the holes in different places? Not as many holes? Okay. I'm getting into some areas here on the shield that are a little hard to get to. All the way in there. Okay. Sweet. All right, shield. Shield's done. It is now all that deep red. I think I missed a couple spots here. We'll just go over it really quick. Mayor McCheeseburger is putting on a suit, apparently to go into the district office. What are you going to do in the district office there, Mayor McCheese? You got any pressing things on the agenda over in Missouri? You going to try to, I don't know, raise the literacy rate in some way? I don't know. What's going on over there? Missouri, that's one place I haven't really been a whole lot ever in my life. I think my dad was just there on a trip, seeing some family in the St. Louis area. Oh, Mayor McCheeseburger has not responded. He must be taking 20 minutes to put his shoes on. We've got a problem with hamburglers. Oh, shit. Yeah. Get on those bitches. You may be able to enlist the help of a very large gentleman. I think he's out of work. I haven't seen him do any work lately. By the name of Grimace. I think he may be an accomplice of the Hamburglar, so he may have some information. But if he's out of work, he might be able to help you out there. Unless you have a problem with grimaces too, which, if that's the case, good luck, sir. I don't envy your position. Large, purple, naked thing running around. No thanks, don't want that. That does remind me of a really stupid, is he giving me a McGrimace shakedown? That does remind me of a really, whoa, hello, of a really stupid D&D one shot that I did for some friends. I had some friends that wanted to play the game, and we've got buddies that we work with, and can you please do this thing? I was, yeah, sure, it'd be fun. But they wanted it set in the world of Wendy's did a D&D world called Feast of Legends, and they're like, we heard about this, we want to put it in this world. I was like, okay, fine. So it was dumb. They were they ended up fighting Grimace at one point. There was a character named Hom. He was a burglar. He was also a gnome, and they distrusted him right away, which was perfect. But it was really fun. They ended up fighting a beholder that was also the Jack in the Box mascot. His name was Jacques. The dungeon they were in was called the Box. It was real stupid, but I had fun with it, and they had fun. And the Taco Bell dog showed up. That was fun. I'm out. Love you, smoochies. Call me babe. Wait, is that like call me, comma babe? Like I need to call you, and you're calling, and that's a term of endearment, babe. I'll call your office, Mr. Rhodes. Thank you. Thanks for watching me play and interact and just kind of being stupid. Enjoy your bespoke suit. Bye. Love you. I have no idea who that was. I have an idea, though, of where they may have came from and who they might be. Anyways. All right, so I am putting on these leather straps onto this armor really quick behind his pantalones. Yeah. So there's one that's going around his thigh, there's one that's going around his knee, and then there are three that are kind of going across his calf back here. So I'm just going to go real easy and try to hit him. And you don't have, like, you can just, like, tap it and, like, again, it's paint. You paint however you want. There we go. That's messy. But again, you can just come back in and Ah, that's probably why. I did not follow my rules of thinning out that paint. That's why it's taking a little while to kind of brush over. So see, there you go. The fuck do I know? All right, coming in here again. By the way, donate to Extra Life, you guys. We've got a team going. It's Known World United. I don't know how many of us there are, but there are a good amount. This is my second year doing Extra Life. Last year I just played. The Known World United team was just asking for people, and I said, hey, I like to play games. I'd like to play games for a 72-hour period. We've been playing since Friday, lots of things from Dungeons and Dragons to Jackbox to there's a Star Wars game going on at their other Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ Known World United. I'm sure they're having a good time over there. I was going to run a real stupid D&D quest that was going to be part Fast and the Furious, part Mario Kart, part Mad Max. It was going to be real dumb, but we just didn't have players for it. So here I am painting a Dragonborn. You know, maybe someone will be like, hey, that Dragonborn looks nice. I would like to donate to your page to get that Dragonborn. And I'll say, yeah, sure. I would love it if you donated to my page. I would love it if you took this Dragonborn. Yeah, even $1 helps, guys, because those dollars add up. I've got a couple donations this year. This is my first year actually signing up to try to gather money and pledges and stuff. And I got a couple donations. I'm happy about it. I got a little bit of money. I didn't finish with the big goose egg. So, you know, there's that. Makes me happy at least. I don't think I'll reach my goal, but that's all right. That's right. Like I said, every little bit helps. Okay, here we go. So now, yeah, you can see that strap right there. It's going behind that little tabard that's like around his waist. And so I got to try to get on the inner thigh there to get him to get it in there. And again, I was talking earlier about why does he just have this one plate on his outer thigh? I don't know. You'd think that he'd want to protect his entire leg. I don't know. Dragonborns are weird, I guess. All right, here we go. Getting it covered up. As I'm doing this, I also see some spots that I missed. That damn purple that I was not a good idea that I decided against. It's still showing up a couple areas. Oh, and I just hit him back there with a little bit of the leather brown. That's okay. Again, if you find these spots, you just go in, you fucking slap a little more paint on them, they'll be fine. All right, got those. I really was trying not to curse in this. I don't know why. I've been cursing the whole weekend playing games. All right. And there's another strap right there. All right, so I got the straps for the greaves going across his calves. I got the straps. It's a little sloppy. I need to do that again. The straps for the thighs. There are a couple straps going across his like his rib cage on both sides. So I'm going to hit those a little bit. 1, 2. I think there are just 2 right there that I can see. So we'll give a little one there. But again, this is why I started with the green for all of his scales, because trying to put these straps in and being like, oh, that's skin or that's this, and trying to get between them is going to be a whole lot more difficult than just throwing a green base layer and then slapping a couple lines on here for those straps. So there is a method to the madness. But again, if you are going in, and if I was going through and I was like, oh, I just can't get this and trying to get the green between, I would just definitely recommend taking that base color, just going over and then just trying again and doing the straps later on. So it's a learn by doing. And like with anything I said earlier in the stream, the more you do it, the more you learn, better you get at it. The first couple minis I did, oh gosh, they were something. Let me tell you. All right. straps on the legs, straps on the thighs, straps on the ribs. Going along, I think I am done with that. I can definitely see areas I need to touch up with the green. Oh, there's one more strap going back across his knee a little bit. Can't see it as much here on one leg, but I am going to hit it a little bit because I know, at least for me, I go back later on. I was like, why didn't I do that? That looks stupid. Okay. There's that. You can come across there like that. There we go. All right. Got that one. And we'll hit this guy too. On that other knee, just coming across. And yeah, if the straps look too big, I know which colors I used for his leg and for his pantalones. So I put those back in there. All right. I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to take a little bit of the blade steel and I'm going to take a little bit of that troll hide and try to hit some of these areas that I either hit accidentally with the other color or that just got kind of smushed around or is bleeding through. Like I saw that little bit of the purple that I said was on there earlier that really is not good. There it is, right on his booty. There we go. Just a little touch. And then going over where some of those leather bands were just maybe a little sloppy or a little too thick in certain areas. And it's little details. If you're painting anything and it goes on, you're like, man, you're like, I'm happy with that. Be happy with it. Unless you're painting this for someone else and they aren't thrilled, then then you're good. And even if they aren't thrilled and you're happy with it and they're being little turds, tell them to paint their own shit. You don't have to do it. Okay. There's a little spot. Where did I just see that? There's a little spot, or two little spots right by the thigh guard, I guess, on his left leg. That's a little close to certain areas, but it's just there's a patch of white that I didn't hit earlier, so I'm going to try to hit that real quick. That's one thing that does grind my gears, so to speak, is if I'm done with a mini and I'm going through and I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, this looks really good. And like I go to bed and the next day I get up and there's just a very glaring patch of white that I missed. It's like, son of a bitch. And then you decide, am I going to bust everything back out and go in it or just leave it? But, oops, see, there's a little one more on his tush. All right, there we go. All right, so I hit that spot. I am going to take, well, I'll let it dry, but I'm going to take another little part of that leather brown and complete the strap going around that thigh guard. Okay, let's see what else to do. So he has, I guess I'll do the tabard just to do that, but he has two little circles right here where the pauldron meets the breastplate. And you could do lots of stuff. Those could be gems. Those could just be circular rings that attaches things, really whatever you want. And then he has like this kind of belt buckle on the bottom here that could be some sort of jewel or amulet or something else. So with the armor, what I'm most likely going to do is on the greaves, on the gauntlets, on the pauldrons, on the breastplate, there are, again, for like splint mail, they like kind of lay on top of each other, almost like, what's the word? For bugs that have like a chitinous, like hard shell or something like that. Let me see if we can see this. I have an Umber Hulk here who, oh yeah, you can see that kind of okay. where they kind of layer over on top of each other, right? Almost like armadillo-ish, so it can like kind of roll into it. That it's kind of similar to what the armor is. So I'll come back to the Umber Hulk so you can see it better. So right here is going to be like the armor, the plates, and all of these is that kind of raised area. It's still armor, but it's a different kind of level. So for those, I'll either put a little bit of polished silver. Maybe I'll put a little bit of the cursed gold that I have on there. I did that. The gold I did with this other Dragonborn that had kind of similar. You can see the gold a little bit. He had similar armor, and the gold just looked really good on the tops of those, almost as like an outline or thing. So I may do that. We'll see. Maybe I'll do polished silver on one and gold on the other and see how they look. But yeah, let's do the tabard. The tabard. What do you think? I'm looking at that other one I just had, and he had a blue tabard, and it looked really good. But I don't want to do the same things that I had. And that's the fun thing too. You want to try to mix it up a little bit. Let's try a yellow. I got some yellows over here. Or there's it's almost an orangish, this goblin skin. Let's try that one. Let's try a little goblin skin. See how that works. See how that looks. Every mini is an experiment. You can find color combinations and things that work, like that Dragonborn over there that I just picked up, that I showed a second ago. That is one of my favorite ones that I've done. It just, everything came out really good. It's a black Dragonborn with that armor. It looks awesome. I was really, really happy with that one. It's up on my donation page, so if someone does take that, I'll be a little bummed, but that means that I can repaint it again. Nice work, Nathan. Thanks for continuing to stream and rolling with punches, even the ones from the mayor of McDonald Land. Yes, absolutely. Whether that was James, he is our commander in chief. Thank you for that, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you for adding that in the stream too. I don't have full control. I just got thrown in here, but that's okay. Maybe next year I'll again be more prepared for it. All right, here we go. So yeah, brush is a little bit of water on there again. Again, we want to try to thin the paint out just a bit so it doesn't come down in globs. And then we're just going to go on the tabard at the front and the back, kind of going down his booty, covering his nethers there. Because he's a classy Dragonborn, apparently. All right. Oh, I think that's going to work real nice. I think that already looks real good. It works really well with the green, with the null pelt of the color there. So I think it's going to work out real good. And as I'm doing this, it looks like there's like almost kind of like a belt or something else that's tied around to keep the tabard going. So I'll probably make that just the same color because that'll fit. I'm amazed though at some of the people that do miniature painting just like professionally, and the amount of highlights and detail and everything else they do. Like, excuse me, if you have a barbarians typically don't have much in the way of clothing. And so there's a lot of musculature and things like that, and just the way that they map out the muscles and everything is insane. I personally don't like that amount of detail. It gets a little cartoony for me. And I mean, I may change my mind at some point. If I would learn to do these things a little bit better, or just see, because there are some that I'm just like, wow, that looks awesome, and others I'm just. And again, personal opinion, that's just like, that looks, again, a little too cartoony for me. But the people that do it and can do all that and take the time and have the patience to do that much stuff, I'm just like, oh man, really, really good stuff. Okay, so I've got there we go. I've got that on there. I think, I think that, what the hell was that? That was a goblin skin. I think the goblin skin works well for that. I'm going to put a little bit around Oops, missed a spot, but that's okay. I'm going to go to a smaller brush anyways because that spot is pretty small, and I'm going to use the smaller brush to, um, again, kind of make that belt to go around there. So there's already a little bit of water in that paint, and I spread it to the side there, as you can kind of see where I'm using. So I'm just going to use that same area. Once you get the center of it, it's going to get a little bit more globby because there's not as much water in there to dilute and thin it out. So let's see, go down the side here, and whoop. All right, got the rest of that tabard on the side and the bottom. A little bit of areas there that I can see some of that green from the troll skin pants coming over. I'm going to get a little bit closer to that belt up there because I see some white. Okay. And now just at the area, oh, there we go. You can kind of see the white still where it's going around to that tabard. And that's what I'm going to fill in with the goblin skin as well. Just to, again, make that distinction that it's part of the tabard, it's part of that cloth that's going around. Initially, base coat, I thought that was just part of the armor, and I was going to leave it. But now that you are getting these different colors in here, it could definitely work better with the belt going around, with fabric belt. All right. And I'm concentrating when I'm not talking. So yeah, once it gets to the point where these guys are a little more, there's more of a risk of going into other things. Yeah, I definitely hold my breath a lot more on that. I'm seeing more white in areas that I didn't quite hit, so I'm just hitting those on there too. All right, and I got a little more here. Come on around underneath the rest of this armor. Complete the belt going around to this buckle or amulet or whatever we're going to have there. Okay. There we go. All right. That's yeah, those colors were good. And there's enough distinction between that goblin skin and the leather brown. They're similar, but you can definitely see the difference between them. But yeah, all the colors I'm really liking. They fit really well. I am going. I don't think that's gonna work. I was gonna say I was looking at the shield as I'm coming around and those little kind of spikes. I was like, oh, I wonder if that goblin skin is gonna look good on the spike. I'm just gonna do one just to see what it looks like. It might be a little too light for it, but I'm just gonna try because I can always go back over it with that deep red. Excuse me. If I don't like it, and we can try something else. I'm yeah, I might just do. Let's see, what does this look like? Ah, that's sloppy now. Oh well. Okay. If I decide to do this again, I'm definitely going to try to have a different painting setup and light situation. Yeah, that's just it's just sloppy. That looks like crap. Okay, let me get a little bit of the deep red and just try to cover some of this stuff. Right. Hang on. It's not working how I want it to. So I'm just going to take some paper towel and see if I can just glob it up because that stuff is not looking great. Put too much paint on it. I was in a rush just to try to see what it looked like, and it is turning out like garbage. So, all right, dry that up so I can put some of that red over it, and we'll try again because that didn't. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of that right away. Okay, so put that red back here. Yeah, I don't like that goblin skin there. We'll just keep it to the tabard. So I'm going to take bigger brush and just kind of redo that base coat over that stuff again. Get it all to be red and the same color again because that didn't quite work out. So just cover that up. And since that goblin skin was going to be a bit wet, we'll just wait a second and see if it is all that same color before we attempt again. So I'll probably move on to the man. I really like this deep red. This is one of I think my favorite colors in the thing because when it goes on, it looks. Or when it dries, I should say, it just sets in and it's a nice just shade and hue and everything. Okay. Is there anything else that's a little? I wonder if I can come in. That's not the brush I wanted. I'm gonna take a smaller brush, take some of that green from the scales and everything, and just see if I can go around the greaves and stuff and see if it's. Oh, there we go. The good thing about that metallic is it's if you miss a spot or it goes over into something else, it's pretty easy to see the differentiation between them. So just kind of come in and hit it really quick and fix that spot if it goops over. All right. And whether that was James or Ben or whoever that put on my link to the to my donation page, thanks for that. I definitely appreciate that. It's in the chat, my donation page. So if anyone's watching and you want to throw me a couple bucks, I'd appreciate it. The kids would appreciate it. It's for the kids, guys. I'm just being a goofball here, painting as Mayor McCheeseburger said, toys. But yeah, it's good stuff. All right. There at the back. Right now, this is just nitpicky stuff for me that, again, stuff that I see someone else that would see this later on, be like, oh man, that looks really good. I'm just like, yeah, right there. You're your own biggest critic. Whenever I'm done with my minis, I show my wife. She's a wonderful and supports me in doing this stuff. Has the kids when I play games the entire weekend. But no, she always gives me really good feedback and yeah, she's a good critic to have, and because she will also be honest with me, which is nice. Okay, let's see. We're gonna try to do highlight some of these, some of this armor here. So I have polished silver and I have cursed gold. I'm gonna start with the silver because it's less, it's more subtle, I guess. And then I may try the gold if it's just not what I'm looking for. So let's see here. Is this going to come out? The silver doesn't get clogged a lot as I say that. Now it's clogged. Where did my pen go? There it is. All right. Let's see how far in. I'm an hour and a half in. I've probably been painting for hour 10 because I was talking for the first 10 or 15. So yeah, this is usually going about the way that I do it with as far as the time frame goes. I'm supposed to be playing a game at 2, but I think it may have gotten canceled. We're going to play Lasers and Feelings, which seemed like a real interesting concept. I had never heard about it before, but I think some people dropped out because, again, we've been dropped out. That seems a lot more harsh. They took a step back, I think is better. Because, again, we've been playing since Friday, and I think it was Ryan, one of the gentlemen that says he was going to go ahead and step back. He's been playing so many games, holy crap, on very little sleep, and he's been doing awesome. We were playing Tales from the Loop. He did a D&D adventure, and just all kinds of nonsense and fun stuff. And I've had a blast. Everyone that's been running games, the whole Known World United crew is just great. We all, we're all coming together for the same thing, but we all get along too, which is super nice. All right, so I'm starting with the greaves. I'm just going to take a little bit of this polished silver and go over kind of the raised portions, the tops of, I guess, the ridge or the bands of the metal that are kind of encompassing this piece. So I'm going to go over that and see how it looks. Again, I think I prefer the gold with things like this, but just because it stands out more. Again, the silver is more subtle. It still looks good. I've done it on a couple different minis, but it just doesn't, pop out as much, I guess. It's not as noticeable right away. The other really cool thing going back to the wash is when you are doing these highlights and going through, they may seem either way too bold. It's almost the bookends. It seems way too bold or just way like not too subtle. Like, oh, this sucks. But as soon as that wash goes on, like it brings everything together. I'm always amazed with what the wash does for these guys. I'm getting a little too loose with moving my brush around. I'm going to slam into a shield or something that I don't want to. Okay. Too much paint on there. Big glob at the end. Again, don't know if anyone's watching. If you are, cool. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just talking to myself as I'm doing this, trying to give any tips or just let you know what I'm doing. For anyone that's interested in maybe starting mini painting, that may be a little intimidated, number one, we all got to start somewhere, right? It's just whether it's an instrument or learning a sport or doing whatever, you just got to jump in, especially if you're interested. And what I tell people in lots of stuff, whether it's miniature painting or whatever, I had a choir teacher in was it junior high, high school, but she always says make your mistakes boldly, and that always stuck with me because I mean we all make mistakes, guys, right? And you can try to hide it, or you can try to just be like a member, like in choir, since we're doing this, like a member of the crowd, just be like, knowing that you may mess up, or that you are actively messing up. Do it boldly, because if you find out you're doing something the wrong way, instead of keep doing something the wrong way, learn to do it the right way, or just get better at it. Point being, guys, the first mini that I made, that I painted, was a skeleton, and I still have it, and I show it to people if they come over and like we decide to paint or they're doing whatever. And there's, oh, your stuff looks so good, and how do you? And I was like, let me show you the very first one I painted, because it's a hot mess. It looks like he has a comb over toupee. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to get in there and do it. So yeah, it's just I made my mistakes boldly, and they were bold choices, and it didn't pan out in a lot of the stuff. But again, you find out what works, you find out what doesn't, and especially you find out what works better, But yeah, there was a class that I went to, which I didn't get a whole lot from, like just from what at that point, what I had watched in YouTube videos and find out for myself the way that he was going about kind of teaching people to do it. It kind of went against a lot of the stuff that I had seen, what I've been doing. So I was a little hesitant to do it. I also, unfortunately, for my own fault, picked the smallest freaking mini that they had available for that one. It was a little Chihuahua, because there's there's a group of minis that you can purchase. It's called well, there are a couple. There's Dungeons and Doggos, which is what you can imagine. D&D classes with different breeds of dogs. So there's like a boxer paladin, and I think there was a husky druid. But there was a Chihuahua rogue, and I was like, I'm gonna do that one. And yeah, it did not go well because it was tiny, but also the guy was kind of doing things that I either didn't agree with or was just like, I don't know. And he came out looking okay, but there are a couple things that that he did teach me on there, or that I did in that class that I do otherwise, which is mainly just like being sloppy. You can go in and touch things up later on, and just don't be afraid to put paint on this thing. It's what you're here to do. And if you don't like how it looks, then it's not the end of the world. You can go back in and change it. Just paint. Just paint. Okay. So again, I'm outlining his this thigh guard plate still just cracks me up. I'm outlining his thigh guard with that silver, with the polished silver. These are looking good so far. I'm a little sloppy in a couple areas. I'll go back in and fix it up, but yeah, it's definitely giving some differentiation, distinguishing different layers between them. I think it's going to look good. This guy has a lot of that splint and plate, so it's going to take me a little bit to do all this, but I'm liking how it's going so far. If you're just watching, again, hello, thank you. But there's options to join in on the chat through Twitch. I think through YouTube you can. Different accounts, but feel free to sign up, chat with me, ask questions, tell me I suck. I don't know. Otherwise, it's just me talking. This is why I can never have a podcast. Just me talking. So I'm a theater major. I went to school for theater. I have a BFA in acting and directing emphasis. But like, when you go back and watch yourself in a performance or something like that, and I think a lot of actors or performers will say the same thing, like, it's just, no one likes doing it. It's kind of painful. So I think that's another reason why I couldn't have a podcast, is just listening to myself drone on and then having to re-listen to it to edit and do all this other stuff. I'm just like, ugh, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. All right. Still outlining, still doing the stuff on, I moved on to the gauntlets. The greaves are pretty much done, and those thigh guards are done, so I'm moving on to his gauntlets. Just outlining those areas with the polished silver. I just got more water to throw in there because I was getting more towards the center, which is the more goopy area. And again, you want to keep your paint pretty thin to do this stuff. Especially, so I'm using a liner brush right now, and the liner brush is a whole lot just like thinner and longer. To, again, liner brush, you're putting just kind of straight lines in there, and so this, to me, is easier to use than just a straight round brush. There are certain painters, things that I've watched, that they use a round brush the majority of the time and just try to get that fine tip on the brush to get just that little bit of paint to go. That's hard. All right, I got some polished silver on his green scales. I was going and toss a little more green in there to cover that up. Okay. His other gauntlet is behind the shield, which is kind of a real hard place to get to. I think I got the ones I needed, though. Okay. And again, behind the shield, not a whole lot of people are going to see that. Whoever is painting it, in this case me, knows it's there. And if you mess up, like, I'm going to know it's there, so I'm going to want to fix it. The majority of people just be, oh, it looks great, don't worry about it. I know it's there. I got to fix it. Okay, so moving on to kind of the pauldron areas here. This has a lot of those uh, as it goes to the floor. All right, well, maybe that is my cue to. Oh, that splayed the brush out too. Ugh. No, that. Oh no. All right, here is something I'm going to do really quick on this one. So I think this thing landed just like brushed down, which sucks because you can see it frayed out like that now, which isn't wonderful. So I'm going to just try to put some of this brush cleaner and preserver on there for a second. This stuff is great. This stuff I heard about again. One of the first videos that I watched uh, showed this. It really helps to get the paint off the brushes and just try to keep them in a really fine state. Um, and this is the first one. I got a pack of two when I first started painting, and that was again like 3 years ago. And I've barely, I don't know. There you go. It again was flush when it came in, and now like I haven't even used a quarter of of this cleaner. But yeah, you just get it in there, coat it with it, and when you're done, you're trying to like roll it back into that fine tip, and it's gonna stay there and keep it together. So now the difference, like you can see, it's now to that fine tip. I'm gonna leave it there for a second just so I can try to get that point back to it. And I'm gonna check this, and I'm gonna get a drink of water, and we'll continue on with those pauldrons in a second. But I really like how this guy's looking so far. The armor's looking good. I think once I, um, excuse me, do something with those little rivets at his chest and the belt buckle, it's going to give a nice little point out of something. I still need to figure out what to do with that shield. The outline of it looks to be like some sort of band, like if it was a scale or something, they put something around it to hold it together or to give it some ornamentation. Maybe that'll be gold. You know what? That might be gold. That might be what I try to do. We'll see if that works out. And then the spear shouldn't take very long. I need to give him some eyes. Um, uh, I'll probably try to do a different lighter green to give some differentiation between his scales. Got to do his toenails. But yeah, he's coming along really good. I think I'm definitely going to enjoy him when he's done. There we go. If I turn it away a little bit more, I think this light I'm using is just way too bright. The one I'm using, I can show that really quick. It's also a magnifying. So when you get up there for something that's really close in, this thing has been really great for. I was talking about how much I hate faces earlier. I still do, but it's good to have that for those real small areas, so you're not trying to strain and squint your eyes and give yourself glaucoma. Is that how you get glaucoma? Squinting? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Anyways, it really helps to avoid straining your eyes. I am going to let that sit for a second. I'm going to give myself a bathroom break, and then I'll be back and do some of this stuff. Thanks for highlighting those again, guys. I don't know if that's James or someone else. Who that be? Who that be? Whoever that be. Thank you. All right, bathroom break, and then we'll finish it up this Dragonborn. Maybe I'll have time to do something else. I don't know. We'll find out. I've got. I mean, I could start on another beholder. I've had this Drider forever. Maybe I could start with that. What else do I got over there? I got that Mind Flayer, the Aarakocra. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Maybe I'll just do this the rest of the day. See if anyone wants to join in and give me tips or chastise or critique me. Make me feel bad. Make me cry. All right. Okay. I'm also feeling the sleepies, so I got a Red Bull so we can finish out this day of Extra Life Strong. So, yeah, Drider. This was always a fun sculpt, but it intimidated me for some reason. It's got a lot of things. It's got some like kind of chainmail scale armor going. It's got all of these belt buckles down here, metallic protection, and then just doing a spider seems like it's going to be a lot of detail and work. But those are usually a lot of the fun ones. The Beholder, I've done one before. I showed it a little bit earlier. So there's the Beholder. Move him out of the way. And we've got, this is the one that I did probably about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was really fun. I also want to do this one at some point because just seeing the progress, like this one took me a couple hours. There was definitely a lot more detail that I could have done to him with highlighting and certain scales and doing stuff. And I think I was intimidated at that point, just wanted to get him done. I could probably do the eyes a whole lot better. But yeah, it'd be fun to do. It'd be fun to do. Maybe I'll do this one, start this one a little bit later. We'll see. I don't know. You like that Beholder? Does he look good? Look terrifying? Guess what? He could be yours. He is up for grabs on my donation page. I think I put him down for 40 or 50 just because a lot of his eye stalks actually come off. He comes with different eye stalks, and the other eye stalks shoot his eye beams. Beholders usually have like 4 or 5 different eye beams that they can shoot out. There's like a death ray and a like a force ray, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, each of the eyes has a different beam going out, and yeah, it's a little extra work. He's bigger, so. And it's for the kids, guys. Did I forget to mention that? Have I mentioned that again? It's for the kids. All the donations at Extra Life, our Known World United team, they're going for a local children's hospital. It's Gillette Children's. And all the donations are tax deductible. We have a team goal. I have an individual goal. My individual goal. It's the first year I've started taking donations. I'd love to hit it. If I don't, I've gotten a couple donations, so I'm still pretty happy. But we'll see. All right. We'll get a sip of water. We'll crack that Red Bull. Oh, yeah. And we'll see how this brush is doing. So I got that cleaner preserver on there. It's still got a pretty, oh, there we go. You can see it nice. Nice little tip to it. I'm going to go ahead and get the water off, dry it off, see if it stays. And it does. That stuff is awesome. And I'll do that again when I'm done with everything, when I'm done cleaning. So they, again, try to keep that tip going. Man, I'm real pissed off that I dropped that brush. That's okay. All right, here we go. Where did I leave off? I was, yeah, back here. I was on the left side. So yeah, this guy's coming up pretty good. I think I like how he's coming. We'll keep going through this. If anyone, again, is watching and you want to, throw me a topic, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself here. All right, a little more polished silver on there. We're getting close to the green scales again, which always makes me nervous. Because I mean, I've been saying the whole time, like, oh, it's just paint, you can go over it. Yeah, but like if you hit something that's extra work, you gotta do all this crap, but that's all right. There it is. Bam. This is gonna be fun. So, all right, you got the shield, and you got this. The pauldron goes inside, so I have to try to get this tiny brush between the face and the shield to try to give these details. And again, people would be like, well, do you have to get all the way in there? No, not necessarily. I can leave it with just that, just the blade steel on it, but I would know. And as I said earlier, you're your biggest critic. So I'm going to try to hit it and just to make it look. Because if I'm, especially if I'm going through and doing these other details throughout the rest of this guy, and I knowingly leave that blank, I'll just be like, ugh. Every time I look at it, just, ugh, I could have done it. I could have done it. Okay. The part on his back here, you probably can't really see it because lights and cameras and everything there. But anyways, it has just, it's almost like almost like a raised pyramid or something, just like a kind of a hump that's right here. So and there are a couple distinguished lines. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that polished silver going along those lines. Again, just to give it a little bit of a definition or a change in elevation isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Like if there's something raised and there's something, it's a differentiation between that stuff. So I'm gonna put that right there just to give it that little bit of extra definition. Okay, I have one more pauldron and the front of that breastplate, and then I'm done with these highlights on the armor, and we can move on to something else. Okay, so here again, we're getting close to the face, which is always fun, makes me nervous. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do. All right, green dragonborn. What do you think I should do? I should do some yellow eyes. Is that too reptilian? Is that more lizard folk than dragonborn? Should I just do white eyes? Red eyes are always fun. It all depends. That's something else that's fun too. Whenever you're doing, if I was doing a sorcerer instead of the fighter here, if I was doing a wizard, when you're doing faces and things like that, and with Dragonborn or really anyone, you don't have to go just the straight, white eyes going through. If they're conjuring their magics, you can put different colors in there. I almost think that would look better if they're actively casting or doing something. But that's just me. I might have to get some more of this silver out of that bottle. Something to use it all up. But that's good. That means I'm putting on enough. Okay. All right, we got the backs of the shoulders. The front of these. And the pauldrons are tall enough that I'm probably going to have to look from like a top-down view too and get in on the other side. And again, small detail. Some people may say, who gives a shit? I give a shit. Because again, I'll see it. I painted it. I know. There we go. And it makes me feel better. And I don't know if it does 100% look better, but to me, it looks better now. So, and again, because I've done everything else the same way, it's more uniform. If I would do all these pieces and all of a sudden just leave that one piece blank, I'd be like, well, that looks like crap, or that was lazy. Why didn't you do that, Nathan? Don't be a slacker. All right. A couple more here, and then I think I'm done with these silver highlights. I think silver was the way to go. It's going to be interesting when the wash hits, and let's see how everything sits. And just a couple more on his side right here. A little more paint just to hit it. Hit. Okay. All right. All right, let's see here. Now, the belt buckles and those little rivets. I like to do something that's more what's the word? It's more distinct on those. Like if you are trying to pick a gem or something. Damn it. All right, let's see. I don't know. Let's try blue. Maybe you got some sapphires there. Try it out. See what it looks like. Why the hell not? Make sure that's nice and unclogged. Get that pin wiped off. All right. We're just going to need a touch, so don't need a whole lot of the blue. That's enough. Just a little dab. Little dab will do you. Little dab will blue you. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. That was a bad one. All right. Here we go. A little bit of water on the brush. Again, just to try to thin it out a little bit. We kind of want a glob anyways because it's just going to be this little gem here, but we'll see what happens. All right. I'm going to do that right at the center. That one. And we'll do the center of this one. Right there as well. There we go. That looks pretty good. It with I know you can't see it because again, I apologize for the setup. The with the armor and those two little dots there, it reminds me of a Power Rangers villain because it just looks like it has eyes now. That's bonkers. Okay, I'm gonna do another one on his belt buckle too. We'll give him the trio here. The trifecta of sapphires. There we go. Yeah. I think that'll work. Yeah, something small. We'll do that. Okay, cool. All right, so armor is pretty much done here. There's a little spot I saw where I bled over a little bit onto his scales, so I'll take a little bit of this green to just try to, that's a tight spot too. Okay. That worked out pretty good. I see it, my hand's slightly shaking. Reminds me of, what was that, Toy Story 2? With the guy that comes in. Hell yeah, there we go, got right in there. The guy that comes in to restore Woody, and the old dude in his hands just shaking like a freaking, just blah, blah, blah. And once the needle and thread hits, he's just like, that's his profession. He's done it for years. And yeah, I'm not that good. I'm surprised I actually didn't F that up. Oh, there's a little bit right in his neck area. Hit some green there. Get that covered up again. Got a little bit on the side of his face, going into his mouth. Oh yeah, definitely hit up by that shoulder. Oh, a little more water on there. Up by his shoulder. Just trying to get in there and yeah, hit his face up. So I'll change that up. There we go. That's something that's small too. Ooh, there's some big white spot. Oh, I hate it. Okay, that's something. That's something that's fun about this too. Is you know, it can, even if it's, you know, not the greatest or like whatever, like you can't help but feel accomplished. It's that thing that you did that took you a small amount of time that's now different and unique, and you know, it's nice. It's a nice little hobby. Doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. It can, but with the amount of stuff that you get, but it's good. You can buy a mini or two minis for like, you know, $5 or $10. The paints is usually the biggest investment, but if you get one of the kits, like the Reaper kits, it's like maybe $50. Like, it's all doable. The best thing to do for anyone that's interested and like, oh, maybe I want to do that, find a friend that has the stuff that paints, and you know, borrow a couple of their brushes or things and go through and just see if you like it. Worst case scenario, you're like, oh, it's not for me, and you say, oh, thank God I didn't buy all that shit, wasted all the money, and you're good. But yeah, this was something that I really enjoyed. But I go in waves where I'll go like, you know, I'll do a dozen minis in a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it'll just be a couple weeks where I don't do anything because I'm not feeling motivated to do it. But when I get hit And then I'm doing this one, I may do another one, and I'll get that painting bug, and I'll just want to knock them out and just have fun. And my kids may, decide to do one or two as well, which is always nice and fun to see. Okay, let me see here. There's a big old white space behind the shield. Oh, there we go. There's a big old white space behind the shield right here. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with that, because it's the hand, it's the scale area, but it's also going to be the greaves. I'll just start with some green to try to fill it in, see what that looks like, and then see if I want to add anything else. Because yeah, otherwise it's just white and it looks like garbage. Right. Get that in there. He also probably has some sort of strap that is attaching that shield to him, so we want to make sure that looks as good as we can. All right, I need a bigger brush because that small one is going to take forever, and yeah, it's probably going to be messy, and that is okay. Figure it out. All right, so that's going to go right here. Bam, 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 bam. Oops, see, I slammed into the shield a little bit, but that's okay. All right, we'll actually come back over the shield and hit his hand a little bit more because that got some of that red on there. Underneath, right there. Yeah, I'll just make that shield red again. No, a big deal. Come in underneath. Get his hand, come up here. There we go. All right, it's not white anymore, and that is really the main thing I care about, because, all right. So we'll do that. We'll get a little bit more of that blade steel that we haven't touched in a while, and actually, I'll put some at the top of that spear too, since we're going to be doing something with that. Oh, come on now! It's already clogging up. Come on now. There it goes. Got a little bit. Not enough, though. I would say the blade steel is the one that does this the most, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. And I don't know. I know it has some of the pigments in there that give it that metallic look, and maybe that's why it clogs more. I don't know. Oh, almost lost another brush. There we go. Okay. Come on, blade steel. There you go. Bam. Didn't need that much, but I'll take it. Rinse out that green. There we go. Okay. Blade steel. A little bit there. All right. And we'll just, throw it all over the front of that spearhead. There are some different definitions and things on the spear that I can see. So again, just something to give some different details and texturing and differentiation. Make it look a little nicer. But we'll get to that in a minute. Another thing, that's one thing, I know my buddy Les likes to do this a lot. Anytime he's doing weapons or swords or blades or things like that, is you can take kind of like the same thing that I mentioned way earlier with chainmail, is you can actually put black over it first and then just kind of hit it a lot less with the blade steel, and it just gives the kind of a darker tone to it, which looks nice. And if there are those divots or things in there, just on the model itself, it can give some of that difference in there too. The kind of like a highlight, low light situation. Got too much water on that, but that's okay. Damn it, we're going back in between the shield now again to try to make sure that he has. I will use a smaller brush on this one because that big round one makes me nervous. What do I got? No, not the liner. That's not going to work well. Spot, what are you? You're another liner. I'm going to use, I have a couple more over here. Hang on. This is we'll try the spot brush. Let's see how that works. All right. It's a little thinner, a little longer, not as long or as thin as that liner brush, but try to get him in here. Another reason I like the handle is it really gives you some areas to rest your hands and do other things so that you can steady yourself. Okay, over the top here. Ugh. Always makes me nervous when you're working in these tiny areas. Come on, just one little bit. Okay. I think that's gonna work out. And I'm not gonna do the like highlights of the armor back there because you're not gonna be able to see it as well. I just wanted to get it covered up with that blade steel. Otherwise, it would just be the white, and that would just annoy the piss out of me. All right, we hit a little bit of spot when we are trying to cover up the rest of his hand with that green. So I'm just going to fill that back in, make that the deep red again, go around his fist. And now that's red again. So that's all matching up. So I'll put that brush over there. Okay, let's do the rest of this. The rest of this spear. So I mentioned earlier about anytime I do wood or things like that, I like to use that deep red. So I'm just going to keep going with that. We can have kind of the weapons and the shield going the same way. I'll probably put some different highlights and things on the shield just to give it the difference between it there as well. Maybe we'll put some browns in there or something. See how that works. So right at the base of that blade, I'm going to go ahead and start there. Go all the way around. Right above where I am, there's almost like on the mini, there's a band. So I'm not going to touch that with the red because that's going to be like some metallic something, I'm sure. So we'll do a gold or maybe a bronze or something there. Over by his fingers. So we'll go above that. So you're going to see that little spot of white. That's the band that I'm talking about. Flip them over. Get that there. You know, Mayor McCheeseburger was a little hostile at times, but you know, he was giving me jokes and gave me something to interact with. So thanks again, Mayor McCheeseburger. I appreciate it, buddy. All right, we're getting close to the fist again, so here's that nervous energy coming. We'll go in there as close to the hand as we can because he's grabbing it, right? We want to have a little bit of that color going into his palm. Try to avoid the armor and that gauntlet. Go. Coming on the inside, same thing. We want to avoid the armor. I'm actually not hitting it, which I'm very surprised about. Okay. There's another band and stuff at the top of the spear there. So just there we go. All right. So that red there is going to be a portion of the spear that's the handle, and then we'll do those couple bands and the I don't think it's a pommel, that's a sword, but the little the end cap there at the end. All right. So we got that. Let's look at what was I going to say? The shield. We're going to try some browns. Yeah, let's do that. I've got the Harvest Brown around here. Where did that go? I had it out. It's a leather brown. Where the hell did it go to? I have so many paints on the table now. Why don't we clear things up? I don't need the goblin skin anymore. We'll put that back. The null pelt I didn't use. I'll keep that out. I'll keep the null pelt and the orc skin out because those are different shades of green. I may want to use those a little bit with his scales. We're getting that deep red can go back. Regular red can go back. Where's that purple? Get that the hell out of here. That didn't work for anything. That sucked. That can go back. We'll leave the blade steel, leather brown, black and white Castaneda. There's the harvest brown. And that desert sand we'll leave out too. Okay. We're not gonna need the blue anymore, that dragon blue. That can go back. We don't need you. Go away, dragon blue. All right. Harvest brown. So I might try to put it around those edges or just put a dot on it and see what I think. Maybe I'll just kind of put some spots on it for, again, texture and see if it puts some like wear and tear on it. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We're just playing around. See what works and what doesn't work. Make your mistakes boldly. All right. A little bit of that brown as it falls over. All right. Let's see here. All right. We'll get our bigger brown, round brush again just because we're going to be putting a decent amount of paint on there. Yeah, a little bit of water. Try to thin that out a bit. All right. Let's see what that looks like. It actually doesn't look bad. Do I want to go all the way around it though? Yeah, I think I do. That gives a nice differentiation between there. Yeah, that's going to work out. That actually works out pretty good. I like that. I like it until I don't like it. Well, yeah, we'll see in 5-10 minutes, see if I still like it. And I think with that on there, I may not need to do anything with those spikes. Maybe I'll just put it just right at the tips of like the edges of the spikes. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. So that doesn't look too bad at the front. Now the question is, do I go all the way around to the back to do it? I don't think I'm going to go all the way around to the back. I may just do the sides, like it's almost like a border around there. Yeah, yeah. We'll leave the back the same. Oh, need a little more paint on there. There. On this side. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think it's gonna work. I think that's gonna work just fine and dandy. I can't really see what I put on the front of those now. I really want to know what I can do with these little front edges. Maybe I'll just put a little bit more on there so it will stand out a little more. Yeah, okay. We'll come back to that, see if it goes. I don't think I need to do anything with that shield. Anything else? Kind of like how that's going. I'll put a little bit more on this side. Just because there's a little more on the other edge. There we go. So a little line right there. And that top little spike too. Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. Cool. like how that's coming. All right. Okay, for the ends, let's see if we can do like a type of bronze. I think the last time I did this, I did the cursed gold, and I put a little bit of the harvest brown in there to darken it up a bit. So we will try doing that. We'll give a tiny little spot up here. Oh, the gold's already coming out. Look at you. Thanks, gold. That one still coming. Stop. Go back down. Yes, I know you had a bubble in there. Stop it. There you go. Thank you, gold. And then we'll do just a little dot of brown. There we go. Try to put those together. Don't you bubble too. Get your butt down there. Knock it off. Stop bubbling. This is why you get clogged all the time. Knock it off. There you go. Thank you. All right. We're going to keep with our round brush. Make sure it's cleaned off. Need some more paper towel here in a second. And then we'll just get a little bit of that gold. Put it up here. Get a little bit more. Put it up there. Scoop up some of that brown. Put it in there. And we'll see how this bad boy looks. So we're going to go back end. Oh, yeah, I like how that's coming already. That's nice. And I didn't use a whole lot of brown at all, just to make it a little bit darker, but I really like how that's coming up. I've tried doing some brown stuff before, and I think it was either too dark or something's going on, but yeah, I like that mix that just happened right there. A little more of that. Maybe I'll add some elsewhere. We'll see. Put that around that band as well. Splotched it a little bit on the onto the pole. That's all right. A little more of that deep red on there a little bit later. And let's see. I'm gonna let's go just up the middle of that spear. So I told you there was that little bit of a thing right there. I'm just gonna try to make that a little different. Give it a little bit of the detail there. Just in the middle. Just in the middle of that spear. And we'll do that on the other side too. I'll probably get a smaller brush just to make sure I'm getting all those areas, making it clean. That here. There we go. Flip them around and do that other side. Okay, good. My head isn't getting in the way of the camera because I'm starting to lean in. Getting with that small stuff, more details. Cool. Spin them around that way too and get that side. I don't think I'm going to need the smaller brush. That works. All right. It did go outside those borders I was trying to do just slightly, so I will get a touch of the blade steel. And just put that back in. There we go. Didn't need much. And again, something that anyone else would be like, oh, it's fine. I can see it. And there we go. Tiny bit right there. Yeah. And along those lines with going outside of the boundaries, just a little tiny, get your butt back here, A little bit of that deep red. Make sure. There we go. Keep it within that border I made for that band. I see a tiny, 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 tiny bit of white by his fist where he's grabbing it. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of that deep red in there to make it look like he's gripping that a little bit tighter. There we go. That makes me happy. All right. So we've got the bronze kind of on the spear there. All right. Now, here it comes. We're moving on to the part that's usually the hardest. The face. Excuse me. Goodness. The face and the head. I'm putting a little bit of water in my brush, trying to get it back into this green that I used earlier, just so I can put another lighter layer because his feet and everything else look really, really light. I'm just going to put a little bit more on there, making it a little bit darker so that when we do go back into if we do go to do some highlights and things like that, it's going to be a little bit more noticeable going through there. All right, so there's that. His neck a little bit more. Side of his face, his mouth, top of the head. All right. And I'll do a before and after shot. Before and after shot. I didn't take a picture before. No, I think I did. But we'll do a shot so that you can see what he looked like before he was painted. I haven't been taking any progress shots. That's something I probably should have done, but that's all right. We'll show you the final product a little bit more. I'll either post it on Twitter, something so you guys can see. And for those friends that know me on Facebook, I'll definitely do that so that they can see what I did in this amount of time. And if anyone loves this Dragonborn just ever so much, you can make a donation. You can bring them home with you. Use them for your next campaign. Kick some ass with them. Put that spear to good use. All right, that's enough green. We'll let it sit for just a minute. Okay. I'm sitting here looking at his armor too, and I'm just like, man, do I want to put anything else on there? And this is the thing. Once you start getting into it and it starts coming together, you start questioning yourself. Should I do this? Should I do that? I've felt pretty damn good about everything I've done with this guy. Here, maybe I'll put my hand behind him. You can see him a little bit better. Get him up here. Who's going to focus? I don't know. Camera kind of sucks. Anyways, I felt pretty happy with everything that I've done on this mini so far. Even the changes that I made, like with the purple pants and the stuff that I immediately disliked. There's a weird little something right there. I think some of his, there we go. Some of his waistband got thrown up onto his armor by accident. Okay. There's something with the armor that's making me like it's too similar. But again, when I hit it with the wash, that might just change up everything. So I'm going to trust in the wash and see how that goes. So right now I am going to, we use that Naga green for his scales. I have two other kind of shades of green. There's an orc skin, which is almost like a grayish. That's right here. Let that there. And then there's one called Null Pelt, which is kind of a vomit green on there, I guess it looks like. But I'm going to try to put a little bit of those on him, on his toes, on his toenails, on his face and scales and things, just to see if that gives a little bit of differentiation. Because you want those layers to, give it a little bit more definition and detail. There's the word I was looking for. All right. And then, oh, I am going to check something really quick while that stuff is sitting. I was supposed to be playing a game at 2, but I don't think that game's going on anymore. So I don't know if I'm just going to keep painting or what the hell's going on. All right. That game. Sorry, guys. Just looking at the ye old schedule for what we've been doing this weekend. There's a little bit of a shakeup going on, so I just want to make sure that. Nope, that's not it. Okay. I'm painting. Star Wars is going on. There was lasers and feelings that may not happen, and then all out of bubblegum. Extra life. I mean, I can just sit here and freaking paint too. I'm happy to do it. Just texting the groups, guys. I'm just talking to myself painting here. All right. So I am going to be done painting, or at least the only one doing the painting at 2 o'clock. And then we're going to see what we're going to do after that, whether it's going to be a game. We may have someone come in, join the stream, and just talk like world building and all kinds of stuff. They're welcome to continue crafting. If I'm going to be in here, I may just keep painting. I might pick up another one and keep going, because that's the thing. Whenever I paint, son of a bitch, whenever I paint one, I kind of get that. I feel motivated, and you get the urge to do it some more. So yeah, we'll see. But for now, we're gonna finish up this Dragonborn. First update, my kiddos. Oh no, yes.
Hey, what's happening, Nathan? How are you? I know you're attending a charity gaming event this weekend. You couldn't be here, but your wife has hooked you up. Treat her right, give her a special gift, and maybe next time we'll see each other. In the meantime, come with me.
Yeah. Okay, that was amazing, and I'm going to share that for so Twin Cities Comic Con is going on right now. I was a little bummed that I wasn't able to go. Tony Todd is there, and I love Candyman, and that's the one thing that I told my wife. I was like, just give me an autograph from Tony Todd, that'd be awesome. He just took a video on her phone and gave me a shout out. That's fucking awesome. Okay, all right, let's finish this Dragonborn. I'm motivated now. I'm going to get a second tray over here because that's all loaded up. Get this guy and just use the remaining portions of that. Damn, that was cool. Now I got to meet Tony Todd at some point. Wonderful. All right, let's try, okay, null pelt or orc skin. Let's try the orc skin. I think the almost like green gray may work out. We'll see. And I haven't used this one a whole lot on stuff. So, whoa, that was like a bluish. What just came out of there? All right, hang on. I'm going to mix this up a little bit more because that was funky. Let's dry that up. Get that out of there. There we go. All right. Mix up the orc skin in the bottle. All right. Let's try that again. It still has that weird. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna mix it up and try it. We'll see what's going on here. I'm gonna stick with the round brush. Mix that up in there. Give a little bit of water in there. Okay. Yeah. I think maybe just separate it a little bit. Once it's mixed up, it's good to go. All right. There we go. All right. Trying to think of the right way to describe that color. I don't know. What do you guys think? Put it up there. There we go. So that was the Naga green, clearly a pretty bright. That's I don't know. We'll see how things go. I'm gonna start with his feet, and I'm actually just gonna use that for like his toenails. Put that on there, and the base down there is white, so I can slather this all over that. I don't care. I'll just do like a dungeon gray or something on the bottom, or a mountain stone. Different color. Okay, so there are his tootsies, his toenails. I'm trying to get a little bit of this paint off there because I don't want too much. Maybe I'll just try to do like a type of dry brush on top and see how that goes. So we can have that nice bright green underneath, and just have this as almost a highlight in certain areas. Because if you see on the mini, there are definitely some raised areas and some scales. So I think this will be it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, especially when the wash hits it. So we'll do that. And instead for this one, instead of the tip of the brush, I'm just using kind of the whole body of the brush to just really lay some stuff on top. I don't want to get down deep into the rest of the mini. I'm just trying to lay some stuff on top of it. All right. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. Add another different level of detail. There we go. All right. Feet done. I'm going to hit his calves and his legs just a little bit. Again, I'm not putting a whole lot on there. I'm just trying to lightly touch it to give a little bit of that color, but not a whole lot underneath it. I still want that green underneath. Cool. All right. Yeah, this is going pretty good so far. I am okay with it. Okay. A little more. Damn, I got a shout out from Tony Todd. That's awesome. That's wonderful. I'm gonna watch Candyman tonight. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing with his fingers that are gripping over the spear. Not a whole lot's needed, just a little bit. Again, we're just trying to add a little bit of highlights to it, a little space in between the pauldrons and the word is gauntlet. And back here, back his arm. Same thing. Man, I need a better. That's okay. Next time, right? Especially if I continue to do this. Yeah, just peppering in some details right here. Hands going through the side where those straps are. We'll come under here too, under his arm, and get the side straps. Okay. His hand that's gripping the shield. I need to do something a little bit there too to distinguish between the shield and him and the. I think I need to put some straps on there. Yeah, right there, so it's going around his forearm. So I'll just put a couple details there. I'll come in and do that in a second. All right, and now his head. Ye old head. Real quick, well, I'll do that and then I'll see if the known world team responded to what we're doing after that. That's a little too much. Let's get some of that off of there. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice little color to go between those. I'm gonna have to remember that one. Green and what was it? Orc skin? Green and orc skin. Yep. Well, I would have hoped there would have been a couple people chatting along with me on here because I am, like I said, by no means any sort of expert or authority on this, and I would love to have heard some different painting techniques and things that work for other people because I've got things that work for me. I 100% know that there's so much that I don't know. I went to Gen Con with some friends last year, or no, not last year. I'm sorry. It was in August, and I did a speed painting event just because it sounded fun. And the shit that people did in 45 minutes with a mini that they had never seen before. We did a Doctor Strange. Holy shit! Like they did so good. Oh my god, I was blown away. Like I finished mine, and he looked semi-comic accurate, and so I was happy about it. But oh man, these guys just kicked my ass, blew me away. Okay. All right, so I got some of this on his face going up, just kind of dotting randomly. If there were some scales to give that kind of highlight, I'm trying to put some around his eyes, over his nose and his mouth. He has like kind of a couple almost like beard tendrils coming down. Just hitting spaces as I see them. All right, I think that's enough of that. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with his eyes. My black dragonborn over here, I think I gave him red eyes, if I remember right. And they weren't like bright red. It was just enough to see. I can't really, yeah. I'm going to have to do something a little bit lighter because that was not great. I wonder if I should use the orc skin just to give him that. I'm going to try a little dot of orc skin for his eyes. See how well that does. Oh God, this part always, I hate this part because because it's such a small area. And if you hit way too much, it's going to look like garbage and just spew all over the face. But we'll see what happens. But again, I love Dragonborn because you can make those big things and it almost looks better or okay. As opposed to if you have like a human skin tone and then just white because you're putting whites for the eyes. At least with him, I can, I think get away with a little bit better. All right. So that's there. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work just because I used it for the highlights and stuff. So let's figure something else out. I'm just going to use a desert sand. I think that's going to be different enough. It's not quite white. And I think that's going to be okay. Stop bubbling. You turd. Stop it. Yeah, okay, big bubble. There you go. Get it out of your system. All right, let's try this again. Oh, actually, let me check and see what's coming up in 45 minutes. what we're doing on the stream here. Nothing yet. Okay. That's fine. Here we go. All right. Let's try tiny bit of water. Getting a little bit of this desert sand just on the tip of the round brush. I'm also rolling it as I'm getting some off just to try to make sure it's got a finer point. And we're just going to go right here. Okay, that might work. Again, enough distinction that it clearly that's his eye socket. And we'll make it a little bit smaller with some more of that green and pork skin. I'll actually get his pupil in there. Okay. His eyes are also just like in a kind of in a weird space for this mini because the armor is going like one of the pauldron points is going right up into it. One of the shield spikes is going towards the other one. So we'll see what happens here. Do I just do a black line for his eye? That's the other thing. Okay, why not? Let's try it. See how it looks. If I hate it, we can always try something else. Use a tiny bit of black. You're clogged. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? I have to thank my wife really quick for that too, by the way. That was fucking awesome. All right, here we go. Back to the painting. Wow, you are really clogged, you little turd. All right, all the way down in there. Try to shake it around, twist it, pull it, bop it, pass it. All right. Let's see if that did it. Whee! Can I have some paint? Oh, gosh. Knew that was going to happen. All right, well, we got some paint. Way more than we need, and we'll see if it decides to drop down into our pork skin down there. All right, I am getting a tiny brush for this one. I'm going to use a spot brush. This is a 4.0. It's like the smallest little thing you can get. Whew, all right, this is the part that always makes me the most nervous because it's black and it is distinct and will just completely, yeah. All right, let's see here. So that's a big spot. I'm going to try to go right here with it. And one of the things that I guess learned or what was suggested is to just go instead of doing like a spot to actually do like a line up and down for the eye, because then you can go in with the color you chose for the eye itself, like the okay, you're with the black you're putting in the pupil. So otherwise I'm just going to keep saying the eye. When you do black for the pupil, you can do like a line up and down, and when you go back in with the color you chose for the eye, in this case it was the desert sand, you can kind of go around it and make it a smaller spot, and then you can go back in with whatever the skin tone is or the scale tone in this, and then make the eye part smaller too. Which I always is just like, oh, you have to dot it and leave it. I've gotten more comfortable kind of sculpting the eye as I've done more, but it's still a pain in the ass, and it's probably my least favorite part of painting. Watch, yeah, in a couple of years I'll probably switch it up as I get better at it. Like, it's awesome, it's the best thing. No, I hate it right now. It's frustrating. Okay, let's get this other one back here. And that's the thing too, with the tiny brush, you only get like one go at it, and you need to like get a little bit more to put it on there, but that's okay. That's just me bitching. All right, here we go. We're gonna try this one. All right, that was more of a dot than a line, so I'm gonna try to put a little bit more in here on this other one. There we go. Okay, he's got some pupils, folks. All right, pupils are there. So now we're going to try to sculpt the eye a little bit. So I'm going to go back in with that desert sand and just try to round it out, make the pupil a little bit smaller, right? So that he doesn't have a gigantic eye. All right, so I'm coming back in here, and these spikes are just getting in the way. All right, I'm going to put a little bit underneath where that dot was, so it can just be a little smaller. And I'm going to come. You know what? I was going to say I'm going to come behind it because it looks a little too far back, but I actually really like where that pupil is sitting, and I'm going to try to mimic it on the other side. Because right now, the other side is just that line, and I'm not a big fan of it. The one that's all the way back there, I really like. So I'm going to put a much larger pupil here. I'm going to set it back more, and there we go. Yeah, that's much better than that line. I already like it a whole lot better. That's one thing that's interesting to me about doing this stuff too is as soon as you see something that you like and that works, it is so apparent that it is so much better looking. Like it's just that one little thing. I put a dot of paint on there and it already looks insanely better. Okay, so that is back there. I'm gonna try to put a little bit. So I'm shaping his pupil. I'm going to try to go underneath and get rid of some of that line that I drew. God, that pauldron is so close. So I'm going to put that underneath there and maybe a little bit to the front. Okay, so his pupil is back there. Great. Now, all right, I shaped the pupil. The eye is pretty damn big, so I'm going to take just a little bit more of that Naga green to make the eye smaller, and I'll probably do a little bit more of that orc skin just to, put that shading and stuff on there. So I'm still using my tiny spot brush. Excuse me. Actually, I lied. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to use the bigger brush. I'm going to use the round brush to do that. So let's see if I continue to like where this is going, or if I say I hate it. We'll find out. Okay, cool. So we're going to go at the front of this and just make that eye smaller. We're going to come underneath here. Ooh, I thought that was going to be way too much, but that actually was the perfect amount. And I'm going to try to do the same thing here. Top is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to do that. Okay. I think I hit that pauldron a little bit, so I'm going to have to go back in and do that too. Couple little mistakes happening, but that's okay. All right. It's probably because I decided to use the bigger brush. No. Probably no. Now the damn spear is getting in the way. That's all right too. Okay. That is shaped, and I'm not going to touch it anymore. I'm satisfied with it. I'm not doing a damn thing. Okay, and I think I just need a little bit of the polished silver is dried up. So let's get another little dot in there. So I can put that on the pauldron and be done with the pauldron. Once this face is done, I'm going to do the ground and I'm going to wash it, and we're going to see how things end up and see if we're kind of happy with how things are going or if I need to change things up on the armor a bit. I may have to hit that with the blade steel and do it again because that polished silver is not doing a whole lot to the green. The green's pretty distinct and heavy, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move out of the way brushes, a little dot of blade steel over the green to help cover it up a little bit more. Just right here. in here. Damn it. That blade steel was getting a little dried up. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Come on this side, see how much I actually got in there. That's not a whole lot. I'm pretty happy and proud of myself for not completely effing that up a whole lot. All right. Cool. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to have to touch it with any more of the polished silver. I think it looks pretty good how it is. All right. All right. We're getting close to being done. I say that. I think we're getting close to being done. All right. So what I am going to do now is, so the for the bases, I know people go nuts with the bases. They have like all the different, like you can do the fake grass and all that stuff. I've never done that. It's just, I don't know, not my thing. I think it looks fine without it. It definitely adds something to the mini. It's cool. I don't know. I'm happy with how it looks with just the base on it. So anyways, the two ones that they gave you in the Reaper kit, there's Mountain Stone and then there's Dungeon Gray. Pretty similar, but he looks like he's outside on this one, so I'm just going to use the Mountain Stone. I think the Mountain Stone is a little bit thicker overall, and it's a bit of a lighter gray. I think the Dungeon Gray is more of like a blackish. Anyways, and this is really thin. It's more of a kind of a wash consistency on there than a paint, but it's cool. I'm going to take. I'm going to switch over to the flat brush just to use this again because we're getting close to being done. I'm going to use the flat brush for the base, and then I'm going to get that Nuln Oil wash out and just go over the mini, and we're going to see how things look. I might hit a couple areas with like a tiny highlight for like the pants. The tabard looks good. I don't think I need to do anything in that. But anyways, let's get into the base. So this one you can again apply pretty liberally. You're just gonna go over it. It's gonna look at first like it's just kind of gooped and completely covered. You're like, oh my god, it's way too much. It sits in really well, and it's gonna look good. So every time I put this on, I have the same reaction. I'm just like, oh fuck, but no, it's gonna look good. I just need to be careful around the feet and the toes so that I don't goop over them with the Mountain Stone. And again, you can tell I'm concentrating, so I'm not talking. There, if I hit his toenails a little bit, then that's going to be fine. And again, another reason why I really like the Citadel handle covers, because when you're doing the bases or things like that, it's less likelihood that you're just going to throw this crap all over your hands and fingers. Okay. There's a little distinct piece of white right there and right there. At the front, I see a little bit of green around his feet. Okay. Making sure I don't see any other white. A little bit right there. There we go. Ooh, and a little bit right there. Okay. There it is. Gray, base is done. All right, I'm gonna rinse this off. My flat brush, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna get a bigger flat brush to do the wash so I can just hold a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take, no, I don't need the orc skin on that. Should I do orc skin on that? Well, we'll see what it looks like. I'm gonna take a little bit of this lighter one and try to the orc skin and put just a couple highlights on the pants. Just on some of the folds and things like that to distinguish. Again, just give some more levels of detail and things like that. All right. And it may look like garbage. It may look fine. It's fine. I didn't really dry brush a lot of this. I could have dry brushed his scales, but it was a small area, and I probably would have overlapped with other stuff. So I decided not to. Um, but yeah, we'll just see how things go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I need to do his mouth. How dare I? Okay. Inside of his mouth. What does the inside of a dragon's mouth look like? I should probably just stick with the orc skin because everything's been doing pretty good in there. So I'll do that for the inside of his mouth. I'll give him a tongue. I'll give him some teeth. And yeah, we'll throw the wash on. We'll see how it goes. All right. So in the mouth you go, buddy. There you go. Try to get the roof of your mouth, the bottom of your mouth. I'm just going to load up with a nice glob and toss it in there. There we go. All right. Let's see. Lizard tongue. Red. Yeah. Do I have any of that deep red still sitting in there? No. All right. Well, we'll get a little dot of just the blood red. Just a little dot. There we go. That's all we need. That's all we need. All right. It's 1:30. All right, I'm going to use a thinner brush. I'm not going to use my round brush because it's a small area and we don't need a whole lot. I'm going to use a spot brush, not quite as small as that 4.0. This is a 2.0, and just trying to get some semblance of a tongue in there. Tiny little area. I'm just kind of going in and out and touching. See, I hit the top of the mouth somehow. Somehow hit the top of the mouth. Okay. All right. That's enough right there. I need a touch of that Naga green that I had. Nope, not that one. Right around here. Nope, not there either. What the hell? Where'd I put it? All right, I'll put a tiny little bit right there. There we go. Just so I can hit the top of this again, so that red is not very distinct. It's like right near his nose. There we go. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to use the smallest bit of, where's the white? It's all the way over there. Tiniest bit of white, and I'm just going to touch his teeth with it. Teeth are also really fun to do on like Dragonborn and monsters that have those darker skin tones. The Froghemoth that I showed earlier, that black dragon, they're fun because it's again, it's something that is so different from what's on there, and it just pops, and it's like, oh, cool, he has teeth now. That's gnarly. Okay, so a little bit of water, spread it out amongst the brush, and we're just gonna touch. See how well this goes. Touch, 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 touch. All right. All right, I can see where those teeth are going. I'm going to touch the bottom, same way. Touch, 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 touch. Try to go back here, give him his molars. There we go. He's got teeth. All right, so I did his mouth. I did all this stuff. I gave a little bit of highlights to his pants. Yeah, let's wash him. I mean, this is all we really need to do. I'm pretty happy with how he's looking. So I will take, you know what? I'll do this. I will take a picture before the wash and after the wash because there is, it's pretty distinct between those. And again, I'll try to see if we can post these in other places. All right, so we'll get front, side, back, side. Oh, hi, Bubba. I've got a cat that just joined in. Hey, big man. All right, we'll get a little bit of a bigger flat brush. Give it a little whack in the water there. Get some of that cleaner and preserver off of it before we dip it in the, what is that? Oh, there's a little bit of white on the paper towel. That's what it was. Okay. All right, so we're going to take our Nuln Oil wash, which is right here. Give it a shake. When I first started painting, again, I just followed the guide that was in the Reaper kit. You take your pure black, you give 1 drop, and you give about 3 to 5 drops of water, and then mix it up. And that worked out okay. What I noticed with that method, though, is when you got to the end of the stuff that you mixed up, when you got to like the bottom of the tray, a lot of the pigment was at the bottom there. So when you were trying to finish up, then it just got a whole lot darker as you were going along. But anyways, actually, I'm going to give this a second to just sit to make sure that everything is dried before I put the wash on, because if there's some stuff that's a little wet still, I don't want it to streak. So we're going to leave it there for just 1 minute. I'm going to go to the bathroom again, and we'll go from there. Watch out, Bubba. I'll get you some food in a second, big guy, okay? Let me finish this up. I've got a hungry cat following me around. All right. I am gonna... All right, so we got our Citadel Nun Oil Wash. We have our Mini, who's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with him. I'm interested to see how the wash fits into his armor, and see if I enjoy that stuff. So, okay. Open that guy up. Got our flat brush. So the other cool thing about this one is it has like its own like almost dipping tray. Get it in there, you kind of brush it off a little bit, and you're just gonna, get it over. You can start from head to toe, wherever you want to go. I usually start from the bottom and go up. I'm gonna try the opposite this time just to see what happens. I'm gonna start with the shield and the spear, and then I'm just gonna go down the front, and we'll see how things go. This is the other thing that you'll see kind of between videos or people that do it. So I was always I always paint just kind of how I did. I did the base coat, I did some highlights and all that stuff. If I do any highlights, um, dry brushing, all that stuff kind of goes first, and then I was always under the impression the wash goes last. There are other people that will say, do the base coat, get everything going, do the wash, and then do your highlighting. I don't know. I think it's just going to be preference at that point. Um, but anyways, here we go. Yeah, I do all the stuff. I do the highlighting and do the dry brushing if I do dry brushing, and I do the wash um, last. So here we go. All right. So we'll start with the spear. Go all the way up, hit the other side, go all the way up, hit his hand while we're doing it. And then we'll go for the shield up front. Hit that there. Hit the back, get his hand and stuff too while it's there. I just realized I didn't do those straps that I was talking about. Oh well, I can come back and do those once the wash is done now. Once it dries. All right. Here we go. Hit him with the wash. Get the head, get the mouth, get the eyes. And really, you're just going in. And you can see pretty straight away where the wash is going to be sitting. It just finds those crevices and sits there. If you think there's too much in a certain area, you can kind of dry your brush out a little bit and tap it to soak some of that up. But yeah, you're just going over the entire mini with this wash and letting it do its thing. Here, feet, all the way around. And if you're going through and doing it, and you don't think that you're hitting a lot of stuff, if the wash is kind of out of your brush, just give it a little another dunk. The thing that I think I tend to do, which is why I started at the top to go down, is when I start to do it and I think that it's not dark enough in certain areas, and I just go back over the same places, and I think it makes areas a ton darker than I want it to be overall at the very end. So I'm really trying to be aware of where I've already hit so that I don't keep hitting the same spaces over and over again this time, because I think that's one thing that I just do. I'm also going to hit the base where that mountain stone and stuff was, because again, as soon as I touched it with the wash, I saw a lot of those cracks in like the stone that it's going into, and it's just overall going to think make things look a whole lot better. So there's the wash. I'm going to go ahead and dry it out on my paper towel over here and just see if there are areas where I think there's a little too much. I am going to touch his mouth just a little bit more in there and kind of his neck and chin and stuff, the areas where maybe the brush didn't get into. But I think he's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to touch his eye right there so his eye doesn't get too dark. You can see his pupil. I am going to touch the armor at the front a little bit because there were some big spots and crevices where it was going into. His knee, where kind of the greaves are sitting, the back of his legs, his calves, where the straps are going around, just where you see things are like a little too dark. I don't know if that's going to go. Around the shield in his arm. Okay, let's see. But you want to do it pretty quickly. I will say, if you are sitting there and are like, okay, I think as of right now, I think things are looking pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with where things are sitting, and I think I'm just going to put him down. What I've done before is, as I sit here and stare at him, like, well, that spot right there looks a little. I'll go back in and try to take some of it up, and once it's kind of dried a little bit, it kind of messes up that spot. So, um, yeah, do go through, look it over again. The enemy of good is better. If you're happy with how things are sitting, just drop them down. I'm gonna drop them down. I'm I'm gonna do one more look, and then I'm gonna drop them down because everything looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah. So there he goes. So he's gonna sit. He's gonna dry, and you're gonna walk away. That's what you're gonna do. You are gonna walk away because if you just sit here again, you start to question things and second guess yourself, and yeah, it doesn't do anything. The mini is done. Other than those straps, which I may or may not put on later on, he's done. I can see it from the bottom angle like this, where his arm is. I can see there should be straps there. That's the only area that I can see as the painter to be like, oh, I really should have done that. Everyone else is going to just see this whole thing. They may see that and be like, oh, you should have. But yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyways, he's looking pretty good. I am enjoying how things are looking so far as that wash is hitting. And honestly, once it dries, it puts a whole lot of extra detail to it. So, there's the Dragonborn. Again, I will take some pictures once the wash dries and kind of does the after shot. I'm going to take all these paints and put them back in here just so I know where stuff is now. That blue can go over there. Green can go up top. All the leathers and browns and all the stuff is going to get together. That's going to go at the bottom. That's going to go up here. And yeah, we'll see if someone wants to maybe get this newly, freshly painted green Dragonborn from my donations. I don't do a whole lot of green Dragonborns either, as I'm just noticing. Is you could make the argument that it's also a lizard folk. Lizard folk are a little more feral and obviously lizard-like with their features. But you could still this one, so it could be a double whammy. You could be like, oh, I really want to play a lizard folk fighter instead of a Dragonborn. Guess what? I think you're set up for it. You could use that. That's not a big deal. If someone says you can't, and that's clearly a Dragonborn, well, they can, they can suck it. They're not being very fun with the game. Polished silver. Where'd my blade steel go? There's that. What are you? Skeleton key. Okay, you go over here. You go up here. You go down here, and you go down here. There we go. All right. All my different greens. Yeah, anyways, that's my process. Mayor McCheeseburger, again, thanks for tuning in for that. We had a little back and forth. That was fun. I will find out who you are, sir. And then the admins that were popping in to just, share my account and everything was great. Again, you can donate to my page that's there, the extralife.org. The participant number is me. I have all the other pre-painted minis that I've done. I may do one more in this next stream just to keep it going, whether we play a game or we're just chit-chatting about stuff. It's all good. It works for me. So when I'm done with my painting and things, again, this is it is the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. It's great. It's awesome, and it really does help clean out all the pigments and everything from your brush rather than just water, and keeps those tips or those flat ends to it, which is super important. If your brush starts to fray, it's going to put paint where you don't want it to. The only good the thing with the frayed flat brushes are okay to use for dry brushing and stuff, because you're just hitting that top portion. So if there is a small area that's frayed and you're getting some of those hairs that are kind of going all over the place, that would be okay. As I sit here, I have a 4.0 liner brush that is, I don't use it, which is funny, but that's really starting to fray. It's making me wonder if it just sat in the case wrong, or maybe my kids thought that they would do some painting. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I'm just going to sit here and see if I can roll it up into the rest of the brush and see if we can get it to stay. And if not, again, it's not a brush I use very often. Maybe I can trim those fray hairs off of it and go from there. Anyone that's interested in trying to paint, I mean, just pick it up. Find someone that paints already, or go to your local game store, local comic shop. See if maybe they have a painting night or something. A lot of places do, just to kind of get the word out and do things, and build community for their shop. This is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. There are a lot of areas where that wash is still sitting, but I think it's this is going to be a fun mini, and he's a little more distinct enough between that other Dragonborn that I did, that I showed a little bit earlier. I think their shields are actually kind of similar. I think I used no, I didn't use the deep red on this other one. That was more of I was trying to do like a bronzish metallic something. Anyways, yeah, Dragonborns. I really like painting Dragonborns. They're fun. Again, they're one of my favorite races in the game. I just think they're super cool. They're versatile, and it's one of the reasons why I like to give them the paints. Here, maybe I can put them behind my hand a little bit and see if that will focus up. Yeah, maybe it won't. That's okay though. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. Fun hobby. Doesn't have to be super expensive. That's it. Dragon Born. Maybe I can put this camera down a little bit and attach it somewhere else so maybe you can see him a little better. What do you think? We think it's going to focus if I move all this other crap out of the way? Maybe give him a little front lighting here. Doesn't want to do it. Pretty small. Doesn't like it. What if I get him up here with my hand behind it? Nope, hates it. What if I turn the light off? Not enough light, it says. All right, well, I tried. There he is. Dragonborn fighter. Shield and spear all thrown up. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. Again, donate to Extra Life Known World United team. I've got minis and stuff on my incentives. Other people have other things, but even $1 helps. $5, there are things in there to just be a happy, generous donor. But they all go to local children's hospital, Gillette Children's. Here in the cities is what the Known World United team are gathering donations for. So if you're feeling generous, share our page. Even if you don't have any cash on hand, if you can't spare $1, that's fine. Share it out. Social media is a fun thing. See if you can get some people to donate. But we will see you back later on. Today is the last day that we're playing games. We've got some Jackbox going on. I think there's All Out Above coming on World United stream. It's twitch.tv/Known World United, and something else is going to go on this page in a little bit. What is it? We'll find out together. Thanks, Mary McCheeseburger, again for watching, and anyone else that shot in here. Have a great Sunday.